Пошли. Все вместе. Какие ваши доказательства?
They want you to comply.
Cancel culture. It's about canceling.
Кокаином.
Up yours. Woke moralists. Up yours.
This is systematic bullying that's happening.
Woke moralists. Up yours.
And they believe that they can then
Woke
shut us
moralists.
up.
Up yours. Woke moralists.
They seem animalistic is what I mean.
No, they're worse than animals.
The woke mob, they ruin everything.
They stop Ben Shapiro from going to events and speaking. They stop Ann Coulter from doing it.
I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob.
You never cave to the mob.
We will never bow to the mob. Ever. No matter what.
Do you see the final expression of cancel culture in terrorist groups like
Up yours.
We'll see who cancels who.
Hi.
Hello,
Hi, everybody.
How's everybody doing this week?
You know,
What's
it was
up?
a quiet week.
Indeed.
I don't know, not much happened.
Listen, would y'all like me to begin?
Yeah, let's start with that kid in Massachusetts, the 21-year-old who was just arrested for leaking those government secrets in the Discord channel. You guys heard about that, right? That's what we're obviously going to start with today.
Absolutely.
The breaking news that the rest of the world is talking about.
I was really hoping to start the conversation by talking about my love for Dead Space, the remake, and Resident Evil 4.
Oh my god.
You know,
right?
For real, don't get me started.
I wanted to
Right?
talk about Civ 6 tonight. Like, yeah, I don't talk about games.
I'm just gonna say before anyone launched into anything, I have a video up. I did it. Watch it. You can watch it later or tomorrow, whatever. But
Ditto.
my opinions are in there. If this chat gets out of hand, that's not on me. So anybody that may be offended, it's not on me. This is a democratized podcast.
Smart of David to do that. As we all know, he has the problematic fan base who usually causes problems. He's coming out ahead.
I also want to say, I posted a video.
They're all very positive, I gotta say. All the comments on my video are very positive. People that
I looked at them too. It was nice.
Come from my perspective, and
the outpouring of love has been most wholesome. I hope everyone knows that. By the way, I've been entirely and completely touched by every single person who's been like, "What is happening?" So that's nice. It's nice.
I want to let the record reflect. I don't think it's us who's going to get out of hand because I want to say from the beginning of time, we spent an hour waterboarding each other and the fans with a whole session of we like her, we swear this isn't a deep critique, we did all that shit,
right,
okay?
Right. And as a lot of people on Twitter pointed out, when Olay was getting all the shit, it was actually I who started.
Yeah. You got a pass. You got the pass. Many of us, holy shit, you did not get called out at all. Not by name, not anything.
But you know what I think is important? You know what I think is an important note in that, just to speak to the level of engineered foolishness and theatrics this is, and the choice. And I believe it is a deliberate tactic and who she chose to go after. And why? Because it's not lost upon me that after this episode, you unfollow Binder. Even though you didn't call out Binder, you didn't say shit about Binder, you unfollow Binder. Both them still follow me. They ain't no. You don't.
I'm also, I think, the only person on this show, maybe Illuminaughtii hasn't been, but the only person on the show who's never been invited on their program.
Yep.
So I think this is a concerted effort to take me down a notch. They're obviously threatened by my growing presence online.
You were
but
one
let
of
me tell you,
6 people who were banned on Twitter. So
right, let me tell you, if Elon Musk couldn't stop me, then these two certainly couldn't either.
Can I also jump in really quick just to echo what David said? So David put out a video, I put out a video, and I basically said my piece there. And so I wasn't planning to make a video, but since my big brother did it, I'm like, okay, I should probably do it too. And And because I did want to talk about this, but at the same time, there's always like this tearing at me when it comes to these events where it's like, I don't want to be accused of fueling leftist infighting for clicks and views, but at the same time, if I self-censor, then I'm kind of being like a little bit of a cuck, and I'm trying to not call out friends for purposes of access. So it's like, it's conflicted. You're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I said everything that I wanted to say in that video. I was as honest as I can possibly be. So,
okay.
Oh, sorry, I'm loud. I will.
No.
Let the
I guess maybe we should.
Our guest is here. Should I?
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I mean,
bring our
her
guest
icon's
on.
here. I'm not sure if she's on.
Before we get into
add her and see what
this, let's go ahead and transparently make something really clear here, because I know we're going to talk about a lot of topics. We love tangents. It's kind of our thing. Let's just make it clear what this is really about, right? There was a bad tweet that was said, and someone who refused to take accountability for it. And like I said in our little kind of group chat earlier, I think what's happening now is all a gigantic deflection to take away and take the heat off of Anna, because she can't fucking take it.
Yeah, it's more than it's more than that. It's honestly more than that. It's more than a bad tweet. And you know, it's funny. I have no interest. There are lots of people. I have observed things. I see people in the space that I don't think are particularly this. They don't do it for me. I don't think they're blah, blah, blah. But I mind my business, because as I've said, if you've been watching the show from the beginning, I have made a point to let y'all know I don't give a fuck. I do not want to be in anybody's drama and anybody's to do. That is not important to me. I think it is a waste of energy. Talking about what the next one is talking about, blah, 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 blah. I try to extend. Let me tell you something. If I have done a show with you, I've been on whatever it is, I've done it with you, I extend you the courtesy of not giving you no smoke. Listen, because for me, my position is this. I did not know TYT until last summer when they covered my appearance on Rising, when I went viral, ironically, for defending the trans community against violent transphobia then, and in this, ironically, Anna was giving me my praises, saying that, this is what the left needs, an aggressive advocate, someone who will aggressively go after transphobia. I say that to say she knew who the fuck she was dealing with then. That's one. But two, because that was my first introduction to them, I was nice. Like I was, okay. Like all I know from them is that they positively said something about me and we follow each other. And so cool. Once someone is my mutual, I try to like walk with a certain kind of energy, because I am a person, I'm a sensitive gangster. I don't want you talking about me and blah, blah, blah either, and fucking with me in a certain way. I don't like that kind of drama. So, when they've gone on different tangents on propaganda and saying things like that, I've handled them so nicely, which is a thing they have recognized. And they've said, if you've seen my interview with them on Abolition TYT, they said as much. Anna literally explicitly said I was the only person that was nice to them, that handled them in a productive way. So that was why. And their audience had been requesting that they have somebody who was an abolitionist come on. And I was requested by popular demand. So they asked me on there based on how I've extended myself before. And everybody knows, and it was well known, that I was disrespected on that interview by Cheng. Everybody saw it. Everybody commented on it. I know it. I felt it. I kept it cute. You know what I mean? I took his little, with our private conversation, I won't say anything. I blah, 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 blah. And I've continued like that. And again, even when she made those comments, about when she came out saying, don't call me a birthing person and all those things. What I did was, and everybody and their mama was dragging her, but I have no interest in dragging Anna as a person. I have no investment in making Anna feel bad or anything like that. If I address something, it's only going to be because of, I think the comments are harmful. And so remember, I made a video that did well, that I didn't say anything about Anna Kasparian. I never even acknowledged a tweet. I only talked about the substance of those arguments about why that's steeped in transphobia, because it is a made up argument meant to deflect and meant to vilify a community, and that is why it is harmful. And the reason why I say that is because it is. Period. Point blank. That's the only reason. That's the only reason why it's worthwhile addressing to me. I would never go. I didn't quote tweet. I didn't say nothing about it. No one that follows me would know there's an Anna thing going on. I didn't acknowledge it, but I am on a show with other people. We talk about things, whatever the comments come up, because again, we're all in the same kind of internet space. Your comments are viral and they are harmful, and so we address it. And again, I still kept it cute, because in my opinion, and I think it's been demonstrated to us through all of this, is that they know They know. It's not just that people keep saying, oh, that video that I posted when I viewed her shows how she contradicts her earlier opinion, but it's more than that. It shows a previous recognition of exactly what she's doing. It's a tactic. It's not an opinion. She knows exactly. She knows what the language is. She knows what the arguments is. She knows that this is a tactic used by the right in order to vilify already marginalized communities, and that is very harmful, and she is doing it intentionally. They aren't doing it. This is the most transparent display of trying to grift and ingratiate oneself to the right I've ever seen, and I knew that then. Let me be clear. I am a person. I'm not, and I go out of my way to not mince words generally, but I did. I minced. I don't feel like it's worthwhile for me to address the Anna thing, the argument, whatever. Yeah, so I was very nice about it. If y'all watched that last episode, I was like, she's beautiful. I like Hannah. She was nice to me. And when I did, I gave her the little nimble gymnastics. Anybody who follows me knows when I have a problem with somebody, you'll know. Eric Adams is nowhere confused about what my position is on him. You see what I'm saying? But so for me, let me say this. It's absurd to me when picture it. It's Easter Sunday, 1:30 in the morning. I am in my, I swear to God, y'all, I am sitting here. I literally sat down, had just lit a blunt. I was about to dig into my sandwich, saw the little Angel Reese thing. So I made a little video cracking my little joke about the haters. And then here comes Anna Kasparian. And I said, so she says to me, oh, Olay, and it's already not the right tone. You know what I mean? Sometimes I'm like, oh, Olay, this feels like we going off somewhere, we veering off somewhere. So she says, oh, Olay, you mean like the kind of haters who demand that people cook their friends? I swear to y'all, I honest to God, I had no idea what the fuck this woman was talking about. I was flabbergasted. I was like, what is, I swear to God, I text last, like, is this an inside joke? I thought there was a leftist inside. I was like, cook quotation. I can 100%
push for that. Yeah.
Yes.
I was like, oh no, what's about to happen? Oh no. She's choosing violence.
People have to understand. People have to understand that the episode of Leftist Mafia where we discussed her tweet was weeks ago. Weeks ago. And all of a sudden, this past Sunday night, Monday morning, Anna is going after Olay.
Yeah. And so I see this. I literally sent it to Lance, who's out like walking Chico, like, so it can't even answer me in time. I'm like, Lance, is this like an inside joke, or is she coming for me about something? Like, what's going on? So I post a single question mark, and there's a reason for that, because I have made it very clear. Anybody who's following me, y'all know this. You don't gotta like me, but I'm transparent. I made it clear. If you fuck with me, I'm going to give it back to you tenfold. That's the only way I know how to move. I like to leave people alone. I tell people, leave me alone. Don't start me. If you're nice to me, I'm the nicest bear you could ever have. I'm on your team. I will leave you alone, but don't fuck with me. And I don't want to give you that kind of energy. I respect mental health, right? Because for me, there's a line. And once you cross over it, it's just a pit of fire. There's no degree of harm. Once you cross the line, I consider that consent. Consent for me to act a fool, right? Like, let's see what's up. So I said that question mark. That question mark was the opportunity for me to clarify what's going on here. So then she posts this clip and I watch it and I'm like, wow, this is really transparent. Like, I like normally things like you would think something like that would upset you, but how I felt, something has never been clearer to me that this woman wanted to trend at the top of the week so that people could tune into TYT, because the only time I ever see it come up, TYT, is when they start and engineer some bullshit on the timeline, and then someone posts a clip later of them pretending to casually address it in the show, like by happenstance for attention. And I'm like, oh, this woman really is looking to like start some shit with me on Easter Sunday on a clip where, one, I'm right. That's one. Let me start there. I'm correct, ma'am. Like, I'm like, two, I didn't ask your friends to cook you, and you know that, because again, this is engineered. I don't think this is about her ever truly having been offended by me, because she was clearly offended by Binder's ass. His ass got blocked immediately. I think this is a deliberate. I think this is a strategic choice, and I don't even think it's about Anna herself as an individual being racist.
Wait.
Let's really quick introduce.
Yes,
Juniper. Everyone's favorite New York Times reporter. Juniper.
we have an actual reporter from the New York Times.
Real.
Juniper here, an absolute and utter legend.
Juniper. Thank you. Hi. Thank you for inviting me on.
Oh, oh my word. I don't think people understand how there isn't another powerful ass troll who destroys the right wing like you do. Like, and your powers, may I never be in your crosshairs. Let me say that. May I never be your target.
I have never failed. I will say I've never failed against one of my enemies. But thank you. I'm sure you're all very familiar with my New York Times articles.
Right.
Yeah.
My favorite was the one that broke the big story about going what was it, goblin mode, right?
Oh yeah, goblin mode. That was like my claim to fame. Yeah. Like a year ago now.
I like how you were able to cover that really impressive story about 5 guys changing their name to 5 non-binary people.
Oh yeah,
the virus has gone insane. That was important work. That was crucial. You know?
Thank you. I do my best. But I wanted to say though about this whole birthing person thing, going back to how Anna was waiting to use that clip about Olay. Like she had that clip for like weeks. I was stunned.
It's not a good clip for her
She was
point.
so excited. Yeah.
It's not a good clip for her point. I was like, ma'am, what? This is not a good clip. It's not at all. One, and also it's ridiculous. She would have been better off just from a perspective of strategy. Like if I'm in the Game of Thrones, like if I'm counseling you out on how to do this next time, she would have been better off posting it as its own thing by itself, like in a reasonable amount of time from when it happened. But come in on a tweet where I'm not talking about I'm talking about something totally fucking unrelated. You know? In the middle of the night, I was like, yeah, ma'am.
That's some Elon Musk energy. Like, that's Elon Musk tweeting at 4 a.m. pissed off at the haters.
No,
energy.
on God, no. on God. And I truly think and I don't even think it's about Anna herself being racist or anything like that in the decision of who she goes after. I think it's about who they are deliberately trying to ingratiate with themselves. The right and the people that they are trying to speak to and pander to and hope to get to and clearly in the pivot that they're obviously trying to make. I think those people want a Black woman fed to them, right? And that's a handbook. We see it all the time, right? People love to go after Black women online. Unfortunately, you picked the wrong Black woman. I'm particularly, I don't give a fuck. And that's something.
I mean, in my opinion, she picked the right Black woman because it can help us all. Yeah.
Yeah, like honestly, I'm like, no, truly. So, I respond. And so I reply to her. Reasonably. And when it became incredibly clear to me that this is not about us. We are being used as pawns, for engagement. And also she's speaking past us because she quote tweets me with some totally unrelated fucking shit back to trying to argue her stupid ass fucking point, talking about LOL, I'm a woman, I want to apologize. Who asked you to apologize? I don't give a fuck about what you think. Like at all. I didn't choose these topics. If this was my show, we didn't talk about this. Notice, even though she came after me, every single leftist commentator has made a video on this. Olayemi ain't made none. I ain't made none because I don't even want to give you the impression. I think this bullshit is what I be talking. I don't give a fuck what Anna thinks. What I do, if I'm going to do an episode, it'll be about the substance of using the trans community as political pawns with these bullshit straw man arguments that is nonsense. And she fucking knows that. And I think that's what's so destructive and harmful. And for you to be like, oh, Ella, I'm a woman, blah, 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 and on this soapbox about how you had it harder.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I'm a woman. What are you talking about? I'm a cis woman too. I'm a Black. What are you talking about? Ain't nobody talking to you about that. But I was like, she's clearly trying to start this shit up back with them. And I'm like, here's the thing. And it's so crazy. When she did that, I was like, I truly, on honest to God, my mind was like, this is such a bad choice of strategy. Like if I'm just thinking of who to fuck with, certain people, logically, like them, don't like them, just mind your business. I was like, ma'am, I'm gonna shoot you on this timeline right now. Like I'm going to. Like you guys. I'm going to. And it didn't even have to be like this. It didn't even have to be like this, Miss Mamas. It did not have to be.
No, that's the thing. Like they took it as if it was a personal attack, and it's sort of really selfish to look at it that way. But not even. No, I don't care. Listen, I know you guys are friends with them. I don't have a problem with them. I've never had any shit with them, but I don't have a relationship with them. So, I don't really, I've never felt I need to pull back or anything. But it wasn't even about that. It wasn't about TYT. It wasn't about Anna or Jenk. If anyone had said this, it would have been the same reaction from me. And I do think you guys too, where it wasn't about the individual. It's about what she said, and we have an audience. I don't know about
though, right?
What?
It depends. I think it does matter who says it. I think it's because it's someone from a prominent platform that is a progressive platform. The fact that she is the one saying it, I think, like if
David,
let's
David,
say
if you had made that tweet,
let's say Steven Crowder said it,
I would
it would be like a Tuesday.
I would DM you right away. I would say, like, David Dole, just by the way, just so you know, like, this is not it, but I would DM you right away. If it went on for a while until it became a culture war thing, at that point, I would be like, the same thing I did here. I would be respectfully, I love you, David. I love all the shit you do, but this one is the wrong.
Why my video on this is showing more disappointment than anything else, because I know Anna's better than this. There's a video of her explaining this a year ago.
But it's not about, it's really, I really don't think it is about who they are, though. I know that's people feel that way, but it's not, because at the end of the day, we weren't asked to it came up on this show weeks ago because someone asked us about it. In fact, I think quite a few people asked us about it, and they weren't necessarily asked. Yeah, it mattered who it was, I guess, because if it was from a right winger, I guess they would have expected it. But the point of the matter was, her words specifically attacked a group of people who, I don't know about you guys, I assume so based on us being on this show together. I know my personal live stream, I have a large audience of trans people, and they felt hurt and attacked by someone who they perceived to be somewhere in the realm of their politics, going after them so hard out of the blue like that.
Yeah,
I think the onus was on me, I felt, not to say, oh, I know Anna she's got this long history. At that point, to me, it did not fucking matter. At this point, to me, once people are saying that, like, this is ridiculous, we're really hurt, like, this is, like, we didn't just, like, have to say, hey, this is not cool, and she apologized. She's, like, doubling down. The whole show is doubling down.
That was the real
Cenk is doubling down.
Tripling, quadrupling down. Like,
that's when I said, we don't need to do this. We don't need to do the whole, oh, Anna's got this history, because it didn't matter at that point. Because the people being attacked, trans people, wanted to hear what we felt about it. Without the stuff about Anna's good, Anna's great. It didn't matter at that point to me. I mean, and that's why I said what I said that day when I said, hey, everyone's got to calm down about the whole, everything's great before this, because it didn't matter.
Let's say
part of the problem. Yeah, so I guess from my perspective, so I've been engaged in politics for quite a while. I'm 27 right now, but I've been getting involved, like, online politics, really politics, since I was like 14, 15. So in the 2012 election is actually when I first started to watch TYT. I was like a kid. So for me, this is really disappointing because they were kind of formative in my early politics. I would watch them, not religiously, but I would watch them a lot. And I mean, it's been a couple years since I have watched them. I would say I've far moved beyond like a general progressive politics that they still occupy. But for me, and I know a lot of other people who probably grew up with them and seeing them double down on this issue. And I think we've seen with the whole Rick Caruso thing, people didn't go as hard on them as that, but they've been kind of faltering here and there. And I think this kind of culture war moment kind of culminated in a backlash against them, and for good reason, because they would double down. They would get the retweets from Ben Shapiro. Matt Walsh would quote tweet them positively. And yeah, so like all this stuff, it's like
all the worst.
We're trying to help you. Yeah, we're trying to like correct you, not aggressively. And that's why I was maybe kind of kind to them in my replies and quote tweets, because like I grew up with watching these people. I mean, it was very disappointing. Yeah.
I think the reason, two things, like why it's so harmful or what the problem is for me. One of Binder's fans articulated really well in your stream last night, Binder, when he said I was like ignorant. He was like politically ignorant. I did not know like anything or whatever. He was like, there was a point like years ago where I was really ignorant, and I found TYT and I rely on them or whatever as these to educate me. And I know that then he was like, if I had heard this stuff at that particular point in time in my life, this birthing person stuff, I would have ate it up. And that's what infuriates me, is that there are people, believe it or not, there are people that the average person is a consumer. That's just true. They do not have the time. That's the point of turning to experts or having commentators or people that you listen to or that you trust, so that you can rely on what they're saying, because you don't have the time and the ability to go and research everything or do a deep dive on everything. And so they trust you and they will take you at face value. So if somebody's come in and they're presenting this straw man argument, they're gonna trust it. And I think that's the thing that is frustrating here, is that the issue is not about, no one nobody, absolutely nobody is saying that Anna Kasparian or any other cis woman cannot say they're a woman. That is a fake, made up argument by the right, period. Just to deflect and to vilify.
Yes, it's a ghost problem. It's not a real thing.
And it's what it is. It's a straw man. And the problem is they know that. They know that explicitly on record. They know that. And that's the problem. That's the one there. And the second part I want to say is this. It's not about making a declaration to be a trans ally or to be the best or the number one trans ally on my part. Right?
Leftist purity or virtue signaling shit.
Every single time that I have ever gone viral for being a trans ally or defending the trans community, it's because I'm surrounded by the most violent fucking transphobia. There's nothing else for a reasonable person to say. There's nothing else for a reasonable person to say. Every time it's happened on Rising, it's just like, I'm fucking my mind blown. I'm like, I can't believe what's happening here. Like, I'm literally just, what is this, transphobic check mark? That's all it is. You know what I mean? It's like, you would be ridiculous. There's no way. There's nobody in there's no one in this space. There's no one that's paying attention that is not aware that the trans community is under constant attack. That's just true. And let me tell you something. I am a black woman. I'm a black woman online who is an abolitionist, who's a public defender, who's all these things, criticizing the police, blah, 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 blah. Trust and believe that everybody talks about me like a dog all the time. And I can honestly tell you that there is no time they talk crazier to me. I see more violence, more this, more everybody jump on you than when I so much I'm perceived as defending the trans community. So imagine.
Yes, I can vouch for this. I got all the privileges, motherfuckers. I got them all. I can stack them up. Holy shit. Cis, white, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And when I do like trans rights or human rights, you need to be raped, blah, blah, blah. You're like, what the fuck? What? This is what happens to me with all that privilege, with all these stacks? Oh my God. What is it like to be a trans person? Like just online. Right?
So it would be fundamentally dishonest, period. It's not even about being a good person. It's not about being an ally. It's about being aware, not being a goddamn liar. It would be dishonest to act as though I am unaware of the level of the plight of the trans community and why it is fucked up for you to enable this bullshit right-wing stuff, because that's what they want to do. They want the people, the consumer who's not paying attention, to believe that the trans community is out here being ridiculous and trying to rain down hell on them and make their life tedious and all this nonsense. That's what they want, and people eat that foolishness up because people are looking for any reason to not get along with any kind of change and with growth and all this and blah 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 blah. And so that's the reason that makes it worth addressing. And as far as this and all the continued, like Blair said earlier, all the continued stuff they've been doing, all the other things coming out, jumping with the left-wing extremists, all yada, 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 yada. I believe all that is a deflection to deflect, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Jen keeps bringing up the whole Latin X thing. Who's bringing that up? What are you talking about?
What is this?
If he's acting in good faith, there was zero chance he actually watched Emma's video. There's zero chance he actually watched our discussion. We gave so many caveats. We were so kind. And for him to act like we're calling them names, like get the fuck out of here.
I watched today, because at first I didn't see, when they were saying all things, I was seeing people tweeting it at us. So when I like seeing what was going on when they first started coming at us on the show, but I was out getting drinks, so I had to look at that later. But I watched today. I was watching Demon Mama cover it, and I just want to say this: there is and I, it's been true, and I really deeply have felt this in my spirit from the time that they interviewed me. But again, I kept it cute. I don't know who Cenk and Anna believe that they are, but they are not my king and queen. They are not the king and the queen of the left. And let me say this. In neither arena are you the king or the queen. This desire to disregard, okay, so fuck the organizers, fuck the activists, fuck everybody that you get. Anybody who is not saying what you say, and the whole left is extremists and radicals, right? Fuck
everybody. They're friends.
No, they're right. So fuck us on that level. So you're telling them they're not hard. But check this out. No, this is an important point. No, because no one's saying it. No, let me say it. No, let me say this, because no one's saying this shit, because everybody has been letting them get away with this whole track record shit for too long. Let me say this. Y'all are not nobody's organizers. You're not nobody's activists. You're not MLK or Barack Obama. You're not none of these people, right? You are not none of that. And you have declared to us that you fuck this whole organizer, activist, or whatever on the ground space, right? Because you're more interested in polls, right? All you want to talk about is win, 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 win. Let me remind you, You ain't never been a fucking elected, and you've ran. You've got blown out of the fucking water. So I don't know who you believe you are to condescend anybody about anything. It is absurd. It is absolutely the height of arrogance. It is ridiculous. I don't know who you be talking to. I'm unsure because ain't none of us nobody's elected office. Y'all ain't, so I don't know all of this need to try to pivot there to disregard. You don't want to hear it from the academics. You don't want to hear from the scholars. You don't want to hear from the lawyers. You don't want to hear from the journalists. You don't want to hear from the commentators. You don't want to hear from the organizers. You don't want to hear fuck all of them because it's about the polls. You don't do well there, Dink. So
well, I think this also just shows like this whole current arc. It really shows how out of touch they are with a lot of the left, not even just the online left, a lot of like the on the ground left, because people talk about like, oh, you're just terminally online, believing all these things. It's like if you actually go like talk to people that are organizing in real life, they will believe. I mean, they believe a lot of these things. It's TYT and Jenk and Anna that are out of touch.
Well,
and right. I said yesterday on my live stream that sometimes watching TYT, you feel like you're in a time warp into 2008. Honestly, I mean. The crazy thing is, like, this is especially Jank here. I'm not sure if Anna's been doing this, but he keeps going on and on about the Latinx thing and all these sorts of like, leftist sort of phrases and wording and really like the minutia of online leftism. Yeah. But like, if you really think about it, this whole thing started because Anna Kasparian experienced. Allegedly, but let's just say she did. She experienced a microaggression. Someone dared to call her a birthing person.
It felt like a macro.
Which
that's like a macro. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Babe, you get what I'm saying, Lance. Anyway, like this whole thing.
Matt, I've said this before. I'm more than a walking prostate. I'm not a sentient prostate. Fuck this shit. Okay? I'm more than a cum pack. I'm not the walking cum. You can't call me that. I'm a biological male. I demand.
Like real problem. Like what Anna experienced. Like if she says she has. A normal person would have just said to the individual in wherever they were, a doctor's office, whatever, hey, could you just refer to me as a woman or this is what, and that'd be the end of it. How many people, like, who goes online and makes a whole political stance after experiencing something like that in real life?
We also don't know the story. We don't know what motivated this, which is also frustrating.
Well, the story doesn't exist, and here's the reality, okay? Because I think ultimately this is where a lot of this frustration comes from them. And I admit, unlike Juniper or June, sorry, I didn't grow up watching TYT. I've never really looked at their content because to me they were too rage baity. So that's always been my personal stance. I did not find them personally educational. But the reality here, when you look at businesses, because this is what I do look at, just because you're the first to do something doesn't mean you're the best at it and doesn't mean you will maintain that high quality standard. And I think they believe truly in their hearts of hearts, because they were one of the first to create a more unified kind of left-leaning show in the internet space, that therefore that qualifies them as the best. And they're not, and they can't handle it anymore. They go, what do you mean we're not the best? What do you mean you peasants dare to disagree with us? We made you. And I think that's horrifying behavior. And it absolutely shows ego and greed are the core of this problem. It has nothing to do with what Matt said, with what Olay said, with what Lance said, with what Mike said, with what David said, what anybody said. It's how dare you disrespect me off of a story that, like David said, we don't even know if it's real.
And you know what's crazy? First of all, I didn't even know Lance has ever been on TYT until yesterday. I've never seen Lance on there. I don't even know. I don't know. I like these ideas.
I don't even see Lance here. I mean, he just doesn't exist as far as I'm concerned.
I have no idea what
I'm translucent. Is that what's going on here?
I have no idea what nobody's back law is or anything like that or whatever. But this idea that TYT made whomever, blah, 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 foolishness, right? Nonsense. But it certainly in this case, I'm like, sweetie, like, hold on. Like, this is powerful. Like, this is crazy.
I was gonna say, sorry. Just look at the reaction to like this backlash where Anna was like, "Oh yeah, we're never gonna to collaborate with any other leftists ever again." It's like we're trying to help you. You're hurting yourself. Like
honestly,
this is a self-inflicted gun wound. You come on.
When I heard that, honestly, I thought maybe that's for the best because their track record in platforming people isn't all that good. I mean, literally, we deal with Dave Rubin, Jimmy Dore, Michael Tracy, a bunch of smaller guys I've seen. I mean, you know, and this has been my feeling about this well before any of this happened, but at some point you have to wonder what's going on that all these right-wingers and contrarians and classical liberals are using TYT as a stepping stone and becoming these huge figures and then immediately jumping full board on the right-wing grift. I mean, there's some disconnect going there where this has not happened once, this has not happened twice, this has happened 3 major times.
100%. And you know what's so bizarre about this is at least people who have done that entire arc, at least Dave Rubin can be like, I did it for the money. Yeah, they weren't paying me enough. That's why I did this. That's why I sold out. At least then you have a fucking reason. This is like, what? For birthing person, this is the cross. This is the mountain. This is the thing that's like, hey, I drew a line. All right. I was for trans rights. And then all of a sudden this happened. And no, you went insane. I draw a fucking line in the sand here.
I don't even think this is about, the funny thing is I don't even think this is about the issue or anything like that, right? And it's part of it is pivoting to the right or ingratiating itself with the right, but I think it's something other than that. I think what this really is about them as people and individuals feeling their cultural, their relevancy slipping away. It honestly, nothing has ever screamed more based on everything they've said. I listened to the tirades. I hear it. This whole attitude of how dare you challenge me, what we've done, blah, 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 blah. They see the tides changing. You know what I mean? They see the tides changing. Money. They have made it very clear. And there's a reality. You're not gonna be the youngest, hottest, most progressive thing in the space or whatever forever. That's not true. And also you should evolve with the times if that is so concerning to you. You know what I mean? If you want to continue to be that voice, you need to learn from those people, you need to educate yourself or whatever it is. But it just feels to me that they see other people or the change in what is the conversations as a threat. And that's what I think this is. I think you see them lashing out at other people. Because if you see it even down to like how they responded to Emma. I saw that. I'm like, God damn,
Emma blew me away.
I mean, like Emma was openly like, I love y'all. Like y'all are, you know what I mean?
She used to work there, right? I think she used to.
Yeah.
She's like it's, people compare TYT to Majority Report a lot because there is that sort of relationship there. But I mean, Majority Report, and I say this because I'm biased, obviously, but the track record there, Sam Cedar, Michael Brooks, Jamie Peck, Brandon Sutton, me on a lesser extent, and we take and you throw Emma Vigeland, Matt Leck. I mean, there's no denying that the people who work there are legit. And then you look at what TYT's put out, and I'm gonna bring those 3 people up again because how does that happen? How do you hire 3 people who end up being 3 of the biggest right-wing grifters ever? How does that happen?
Well, can I just say also, it's so frustrating because I've been part of TYT's network for 6 years now. And Cenk has reached out to me before when I mentioned this last time we talked, when he felt like I misrepresented Wolfpack. And, I was a little bit defensive, but what I did was I took the L, I brought on one of the people at Wolfpack so that way I can correct the record, because sometimes you just have to put ego aside for the greater good. Like, I didn't want to harm Wolfpack. I support that movement. I have supported that movement. I've donated to that movement. And so the fact that when I try to do the same to him, and he doesn't address me specifically, but the response is essentially, oh, well, look at Lance and his 12 Twitter friends. It's like, we're not just randos on Twitter. We are people who are coming at this from a position of good faith, just trying to get you to stop fucking this up because you know better. And you're giving, there's no reason. Yeah, and listen to trans people, but I mean, there's no reason for this to keep happening. You're basically just giving the right a gift. If you, almost all of us have been in some article And it's all a liberal meltdown. Me and Fox News, me and Lance in what is that? The
Daily Mail.
Daily Mail. David Pakman and Olay.
I was Twitter user. That was me. I'm Twitter user in the story of the Daily Mail. We're the woke cancel culture mafia. Apparently,
but also
it's official now. It's in print, Mike. It's in print. It's legally true.
We're famous.
Yeah.
No, I said David Pakman, but David Dole, my brother. I'm sorry, and Olay, and it's like
never confuse me again.
No, you know, it's so insane because it's like when you see us quoted in these articles, like they literally quote the tweet where it's like, I respect you a lot, but then they refer to it as this pitchfork mob because the hallmark of these pitchfork mobs is them stopping before they burn the person at the stake to say, you know, I really respect you, but I'm going to have to do this. Yes. Like, it's just, they know what they're doing. Like they're giving the right a gift. And it's so frustrating because they're usually supposed to be the ones who don't do that. Like for years, they haven't done that. So that's why for me, like, I feel like from all of us, they should know us better, right?
Sweethearts. Yeah. I understand that it's gonna take y'all a while to come to terms with the fact that this shit is deliberate. It's gonna take a while. Everybody that's caught up though, baby, is like, it's so frustrating because they fucking know, baby.
I feel like you're right because
sweetheart.
It does feel like half
you are
the show.
Partially right. Yeah,
it does feel like half this show is struggling and half this show is just like.
Nah. The moment I saw the Ben Shapiro retweet, when I saw the Carrie Lake, oh wow, broken clock, I was like, and she didn't delete, she didn't correct. I'm like, okay, there is a part of her that is like on that brain worms, that turf route that like J.K. Rowling took, that Graham Linehan took, like all these ghouls.
The worst people in the world like what you're saying. Is that not enough? Like if all the people who loved me, if every single one of you who I respect and love was like, Lance, this ain't it, and all the worst human beings, the worst ghouls ever, Matt fucking Walsh, if I saw Matt Walsh, I would be like, oh, ew, what have I done? This is terrible. I had the wrong take. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I was so wrong. But all of them, Ben Shapiro, like,
and even if the intent wasn't there, that should make you recognize, hey, clearly this is taken away. I didn't mean it to be taken. And if you still double down, then
the police can prove this, like, beyond a reasonable doubt, baby. First degree intent. The intent is there. The intent is there. Like, the intent is simply there. Like, the thing is, I can respect it more if they were a true bigot, right? Like, let me tell you my problem is too. Like, J.K. Rowling is a true bigot. Like, J.K. Rowling is a true transphobe. Like, J.K. Rowling feels that. Yes, if y'all put up on the stake right now, girl, we will burn you with the stake if you don't doubt the
willing to throw your life and your legacy away for this shit, if you're willing to just be like, I lose everything, like, look at Graham Linehan. If you're willing to be like, I lost my kids, my family because of trans penis took this from me. No, it didn't. No one wants to be around these people. You are all obsessed. This is disgusting. I can tell why your wife would leave you. Like, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with you if someone else was like, I'm obsessed with this. I need to police these people. What the fuck is wrong with you? This is a weird, sick sexual obsession. You know,
it's not normal. I've never met anyone like this in real life. I've never met anyone.
It's not a true. It's simply a grift. Like, that's the thing that makes it much more like fucked up. Is you know better. You know exactly what you're doing, but you made an executive decision that some interest of yours, some other interest, is worth doing something you know is as harmful as exposing a marginalized community to danger and continued attacks and rhetoric or whatever. That's more fucked up to me. That's exceptionally fucked. Because at the end of the day, you know they know. We know they know. The proof is there. I showed it to you.
I also want to mention.
Sorry.
I got to mention this because let's just pretend for a second that they were right, that this is birthing people is a thing that's being said on the left and whatever. The left has no power. There are things that I've seen people say that are on the left that I don't agree with, like their left-wing positions or whatever the hell it is. But I'm not going to go after them. I'm not because we have no power. They have no power. Why am I going to spend my energy going after people who may have an opinion I don't agree with or say something that is a little off in my opinion? Why am I going to spend any energy at all addressing that when we have no power? It's just a complete waste of energy. There's no reason to do it. There's no even if like something like defund the police that I don't agree with. Are we close to defunding the police? Like, is this a thing that's? Are we close to getting? Are we close to abolishing prisons? No. So why are you going to spend any energy at all about trying to address abolishing or getting angry at abolishing prison people.
Your messaging
it's not a thing that you have to worry about.
Because they believe that they're king and the queen, they're the king and queen of the left. How power is maintained, right? Theoretically, power is maintained by subjugating others. They got to be people underneath you, so they got to lord themselves over the left. How we are the true left, we are the president of the left, and we did not fucking sign off on those opinions. We do not like this new tide of fucking discourse. We didn't appoint these bastards. Like, we don't know who they are to convene and keep pushing this bullshit. We don't fucking like it. We upset. Like, we are the kings and queens of the left. Gotta get down or lay down. That's basically Jake and Anna this week had the entire left at gunpoint, like, get down.
We made you, and we can destroy you. We have the power to destroy you. How dare all of you? We gave you everything. No, motherfuckers, I was invited onto the power panel because I had a name, because it was like, oh, I'm already known as Lance from the Serfs. I wasn't on there because it was like, we're trying to promote brand new little baby eggs that no one knows about. This person is so fucking green. No, it was like, hey, this is someone who's established, who's going to add to this. It's called the power panel. It's in the name. The power panel.
And I, by the way, did not join the network until I had 100,000 subscribers. So it's not like they made any of us. It's not like the Dave Rubin / Jimmy Dore situation where you know them because of TYT. Like, it's not like they made us and now we're turning around and attacking them. Like, we don't want to have this fucking conversation, but we have to. Like, none of us want to call out our own friends and colleagues online.
Let me just say that. I want to, because I see like, people comment and be like, oh, like, don't, someone said that when I posted the Leftist Mafia tonight, they were like, oh, don't call it your friends this time or something. They're not my friends. You didn't know these people. What y'all talking about? Like, who the fuck are you talking about? He's a bunch of, how old is Cenk? I'm not even 30 yet. Who y'all talking to? These not my homies. I don't know these people. I don't know them. I've never, I had to catch up. I'm telling you, truly flabbergasted. Like, I was like, I had to watch the commentary on the whole thing to figure out that apparently that when she tweeted at me the Olay thing, she had apparently been trying to sub me or something on the show, like take some debate me into some reaction there, and I didn't go for it, and that was why she came on my tweet. And that's crazy to me because I'm like, ma'am, I don't watch your show. The fuck you talking about? And I'm like, who you think my friends are? You think my friends watch TYT? Like, who do y'all think I hang out with? Like, ma'am, be real with yourselves. Like, I've said it a million times. I am in real life, I'm a lawyer, I'm an advocate, I do these things, whatever it is. I organically, the work that I do ended up leading me to have a presence and end up being a commentator. And I learn of people when they learn of me. And I've said that to all y'all on this show. I knew Lance when Lance asked me to come on this show. I learned Mike when Mike followed me, whatever I said. That's how I know I learned. Blair has over 1 million followers, and I still didn't know who she was till we came on the show. I don't know nobody. I don't watch nobody's show. Don't get me in nothing. So I was truly confused. Like, really, so trust and believe, she didn't make nobody around here, son. That ain't no true. I'm not gonna go down my resume, but let's keep it cute, not too much on me. And I want to say this. This is my last point on this. Notice that after she came at me directly in the timeline after I disused, they made sure to keep my name out their mouth after that. Nobody made the mistake of responding. They said we gonna go off the lines, we gonna throw out these names, but you gonna keep it cute around here. What have we learned? What have we learned here, Miss Mamas? Don't do that no more. Like, so that's fine. That's all I got on that.
Again, I didn't get targeted until I defended Olayemi. That's when all of a sudden people started coming after me. Not until then. Until then, all my commentary, there was no impersonation of Lance. There was no jank doing like he apparently was like, I am the one to love this. My catchphrase, right?
I'll be honest. I thought that was.
I always say,
I thought Cenk's impression of you was ridiculous until literally amazing. 5 minutes. Until 5 minutes ago, when you went, that's actually a macroaggression and a microaggression.
Wait, Jane can't your number. I hear it.
Well, and let's be really clear about something, right? Because we're trying to make light of this. We're, having a good goof and a gaff over here. But the reality here of what happened, because I definitely see some comments in multiple of the chats where people referring to this as just petty leftist drama. Let's be clear here, okay, that what the Young Turks did was they made a business decision on how they were going to monetize their faults at the expense of trans folks.
Thank you.
Let's be very fucking clear. While
Is it helping them though?
Blair,
I don't think it's helping them.
I
I don't think it's benefiting them at all.
I think they thought it would help. I really do.
But it is a business. Even if it doesn't benefit you, it's a business decision. Blair's 100% right there. Even if it doesn't benefit you, you're making a conscious choice that will affect your business and audience based on how you are taking a stance on this position.
Look, I study business.
It's not intentional.
Right? This is what I do. So while I may not know every commentator under the sun, I know what the fuck a business decision looks like. And this was a business decision that they go, oh, this is a bad light. How the fuck are we going to monetize it? And at the end of the day, who's suffering? It's not us, right? We all get to speak louder.
Our numbers are exploding. It's just playing defense. Holy shit. David, you've got like 1,500 people. I've got 700 people watching. Everyone's like, oh, juicy, delicious drama. Look as they fight each other. Look at this beautiful.
I will say though,
as someone who I'm basically just a Twitter person, and I kind of always have. I've always just I've been in the discourse. I've been in the replies. I've gotten into dumb fights, and as I've grown my platform over the last like year and a half or so, I was like I kind of came to the realization that like we don't need like this kind of infighting isn't useful for anyone, and they're intentionally engaging in it constantly. None of us want to have to be involved here. This shouldn't happen. This doesn't help us. It might help their business. Maybe it will. Maybe they'll get like based gripers now in their audience. Like maybe that's the lane they're going for. But none of us want this. And I think calling it infighting is kind of a disservice of what this is. Because we're trying to correct this. Yeah, we're trying to help them.
Honestly, I'm not even trying to correct nothing. I'm not trying to correct. Let me be clear at this point. I said the day that she made the comment she did, I made a video about on those, you know, this kind of straw man argument not addressed. And I already addressed and put out what was my position on that episode of Leftist Mafia when we talked about it. I addressed the substantive nature of it. I'm not trying to do or correct nothing. I do not work PR for TYT. I don't give a fuck what they do. I don't care. They could blow up their network. I don't care. They could pivot to the right. They could move to the left. They could dance wherever they want to dance. I don't give a damn. All it is simply, and for me was, you came at me. I replied. That's that on that. Now they doing that foolishness. And I want to, you know, because people have this idea that's back. I didn't produce any content on this, and I won't. My episode tomorrow for Illuminaughtii is on Clarence Thomas and his bribes, the shit I care about, or him getting flued out, his gifts, him living good. That is not. I'm not interested in being in any back and forth with them or blah blah blah. I don't see it as that in this particular instance. The only reason why I said what I had to say on the weekend, and I disviewed them, and honestly after that I considered that done. I didn't care what they did. People sent me when they were talking on the show, and I didn't say anything. The only reason why I went back in was because they started attacking Lance and attacking everybody else, and I very often it is that I am picked on as the black woman here. That's just true, and everybody in the comments can feel how they want to feel. Blah 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 blah. It's just true. It is easier to go after the black woman. There's a certain way that you go after them, and I don't like when people when I'm not spoken up for, or when the effort is not made to protect me by my co-host. So I appreciate when they do, and I do not want to disincentivize them to do that. So for me, it was like once you started attacking them, once they spoke up for me, I felt obligated to make sure I incentivize them that I'm not going to leave you out on a limb. I really appreciate that, and I'm going to jump in, and that's what it's really about for me. Why I even bothered there? But I have addressed the substantive nature in no explicit detail at this point about what was the problem with what they did and why it's not just about, oh, you know, a petty thing or just saying whatever or blah, blah, blah. But we all know, everybody who watched the episode, everyone already knows, there is a consensus. The only people that are in this, you know, in this conversation, in the comments, in the thing that are like on the side of them are the right. There's no one that's actually on the left there, and they've said as much, right? It's all the left they're taking on. They know it. So all the people, it's not like we even have to prove the point. Everybody on our side of the fence knows what was harmful about their comments. Everybody who watched our show knows that we did all the softball handling in the world. I've never seen people be ratioed more in my life. People with over 500,000 followers. It is very clear. We have gone on record. So to me, that's really not on that. Anybody who feel away could be mad and have their narrative and believe whatever they want to believe, that Anna and them are selling, that we came after them, we was disrespected. It's simply not true. That's simply not true. Half of this cast really deeply likes them and very much so does not want to see them, you know, lose. And the other half is indifferent. So, you know, that's that. It is problematic. We have a trans audience. All of us have a trans audience. We care about our community. Like, we care about that community. We care about marginalized folks. We care about being honest, and that is all that is. Where you're going to continue to be good allies. And if Anna and Jenk and whoever else don't like that, then they don't like that. You know, such is life. You're gonna be all right though. You're gonna be all right. I promise you.
You can't cancel people. We don't have that power. It's not real. It's not a real thing. Like a lot of people on Twitter, like
we'll see who cancels who.
I'm not.
How many people thought that was real?
That's the meme. It's the meme. These are jokes. This is why it's funny. It's because we don't actually have that power.
Wait, I thought that we could.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I mean, I did see in some of the replies, especially to Jank, there were people like, "Hey, I'm a subscriber to you guys. What the fuck?" Like, so some people were like in their audience pretty upset. So I mean, maybe there will be some sort of blowback. It's yet to be seen, of course. I don't know if they have like that public. I don't know.
If I was,
I've been in their audience for like 10 plus years. Like I'm not like, I watched their shit before I got into this. Of course, they were a big inspiration in terms of like me getting into this and all that. Like, so if you lose me, like someone who was a paying subscriber, watch shows like Old School, like watch these shows no one's ever heard of, but I watch them because they're TYT show. Like, if you start to lose me, then you're losing people. Like this is it's the part of it as well is they used to be like they were the place that people could go to where, because their voices weren't being heard. So, but TYT would speak to these issues that mainstream media was not speaking to, and now because they're not doing that on some issues like criminal justice, like this issue now, at least in some ways, that like people are angry at them, people that are their members, their subscribers, because they feel like, hey, what the hell? Like, you were the voice for the voiceless that were not appearing, these opinions not appearing anywhere else, and now you are no longer welcoming to those positions either. Again, even if they don't agree with them, like engage with them, like at least have an honest conversation about it, as opposed to this shutting down, this straw manning about how we're calling them names. Like, this is what Jenk claimed, we're calling them names. Did you
we called them fascists, according to him?
None of us called them fascists. We didn't call them anything.
Yeah, you're not the main character. They have to understand this. They're not the main characters.
I got
the
the
same side of this issue. They've been on the same side of this issue. That's the most infuriating part about it.
But they want to be. They're usually right. They're not the main character, but they want to be. That's all it was about. They managed to make every single person talk about this week. They managed to hijack whatever we wanted to discuss, whatever the rhetoric was going to be about. They have the entire internet left discussing this. Like, everybody, I've seen my face on more thumbnails that aren't my video on YouTube as well. So basically, I mean, that's what it is that they're doing. They wanted this engagement. And yeah, I mean, that's basically all it is.
I'll be honest, I learned so much about them this week because of all of this. And I know for a lot of you guys, none of this is new news, but can I just bring this up because it really did bother me, this clip that started circulating around, not the one that Olay posted with the compilation of them saying the N-word over and over again, but the one where is his name Jank? Jank? I don't know.
Jank.
With a J. Yeah.
The one where he's talking about when he's being real, talking about the woman, right? Being real transphobic towards her, right?
No, the one where he's talking about, he's using like the Republican talking point, essentially of if a woman orgasms or gets pregnant via a rape, then it wasn't rape, but he uses it in context of fucking a horse.
Oh, geez.
I'll be honest.
Oh, he's got a bunch of old clips like that.
A lot of their old stuff, like when they were more like,
it's not.
I think before, like, because like I said, I started watching them in 2012. I think a lot of that stuff was pre-2012.
Everyone,
and
Blair,
that
you
stuff
just
was
blew every chat's minds. Every chat is like, wait, what? Because they didn't know about this lore. I knew about this lore. This is not.
Yeah. They got a weird history.
But it's really,
really
no. Oh, there's so much weird, yikesy, edgy shit from them.
There is this like weird agreement.
I disagree.
There's this quiet agreement the white left seems to be in about like all this shit just being good. Like, I don't know where I missed the meeting where everyone's just like, oh yeah, we knew about that. They're doing it about it.
Well, it's because they've addressed it and apologized already. It's just like I think if you can apologize and recognize you said some dumb shit, then people can move on. Like,
it would be pretty funny.
Was attempted to do for comedy purposes, and it didn't really land. And so
it would be funny if, you know how people, we did it, some of you did it on the episode, but like talking about like, oh, don't worry. I mean, you can't go too mad at them because they have this history. It'd be pretty funny if you were like, listen, you can't get mad about the transphobic stuff because they have this great history about fucking a horse. Like, you gotta...
It is hilarious. I will say it is funny. Like, obviously, I recognize. I'm sure they have good things that they've done, but it is funny that in the same breath of everybody doing all the coddling about what they're currently saying, it's all the defense of their track record. And then when I go to look at their track record, it's nothing but more fucked up shit that justifies. And everyone's like, oh, but no, that's okay. I'm like,
Yeah, they've had a really bad history, and I think a lot of people are learning a lot about them recently.
And present, because I want to let y'all know. So
and present. For
me, let me just say this. I found out about them, like I said, last summer, and since then it's been rough. I've only seen bad things, like think I'm the homeless, propaganda, bail reform, listen, like all the things right now, transphobia. And then when I look back, I be seeing worse. So I'm just saying,
I can tell you why I started watching them. Like, what got me interested is when I think this was during the 2012 election with Mitt Romney, and they were criticizing Obama, and I was kind of confused. I'm like, all I ever see is either all pro-Democrat or all pro-Republican. Here are people thinking, rationally, objectively, and properly criticizing certain things from both sides. And I'm like, hey, I don't see this very often. And to be fair to them, again, they lost a lot of support because they were critical of Barack Obama, and so that was a poor business decision. But that's one they made because that's one they felt that they had to do because of their feelings on what was happening at the time. But so, yeah, to go from that to now feeding into right-wing narratives is quite a weird shift.
Okay, this is kind of unrelated to the drama. Actually, this is totally unrelated. I just got this really sweet text from one of my ethics professors in college, and she was actually one of the people that really got me to critically think. Because I think, as many of you guys know, I actually used to have a lot of kind of conservative mindset and talking points. I used to claim I was a libertarian and all this crap too. And she just messaged me and it just was kind of like, hey, we're all watching your show right now live. We're so proud of you guys. Great talking points. So hi, Liesl. You're amazing. Thank you so much for talking to me. Okay, sorry, back to the drama.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's so cute. No, that's nice. Good wholesome interlude.
Now back to the bloodbath.
And here's why.
The blood sports.
I said all I gotta say.
Yeah, again, you can watch my video. That's I said everything that was in my heart. Now I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope that their commentary on trans issues doesn't get worse. That's all I'm hoping for. I've said my piece.
I'm never going to talk about them again as long as don't say nothing to me. Don't say nothing to me, and I'm not going to say nothing to you.
You know that this entire stream that we've done thus far, this past hour, is going to be so heavily scrutinized and taken out of context. And
I literally don't care. I'm like, honestly, I'm on Black Twitter, Bahamian Twitter, all kind of different like parts of Twitter. I be chilling. My audience, we don't even, bro. Fuck this. Who cares? Like, it's so much more work for me to even try to explain to the people in my life what all of this is. Like, who cares? I have to go deal with HOCO and bail reform. I've got stuff to do. I'm going to Florida in the morning. Like, whatever.
But I'll be honest, as someone who is trans, this is just the beginning. I like this. It's not going to get better. I really don't think it will. There's going to be another annotate. There's going to be another discourse about this. This is not the end.
Well, I hope at the very least they listen to. Go ahead.
Wait, David. Sorry. The same day they were doing a lot of this stuff where they were like talking shit about all of us, they did a special on Riley, the swimmer, and like how Riley was attacked and accosted, blah, 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 by trans activists and trans terrorists and stuff like that. And that shit has gone too far. The very nature of the way that segment was framed, I was like, this again is with intent. You have to be doing a segment like this. And like, you are not oblivious to who this serves. Like when you do a segment from this perspective, from this POV, and you say it's like the only reason I know about this story is because I've heard about it ad nauseum from Matt Walsh, from Ben Shapiro, from all of these fucking motherfuckers who are trying to push an agenda, and they are using this story as basically, look, once again, right after there was this massacre that took place where a trans terrorist did a mass shooting, there's now people who are actually going to actively attack someone who's speaking out about women, biological women in sports. Like this is so not it. right? Like this can only serve one purpose, and that purpose is fucked, and we have to oppose it.
Yeah.
To be
They
completely
have to understand what people get out of a segment like that. Like the most charitable view of that is in their minds they want to show how they can be critical of both sides, but the left has no power. Trans people have no power. Doing a story like that, all that does is further push right-wing narratives about anti-trans narratives. There's no benefit to covering a story, to an individual story about like a single thing that happened. It's so stupid.
Well, and I referenced this in my video too about that. It really demonstrates that they're not talking to actual trans people or even queer people at this point, because they like the point that they made, which really bothered me, was that they showed like they were against the activists who were being too harsh in that video, basically, and heckling her. But then they showed, okay, well, here's the trans activists who are being productive, and they showed like they cut to a quick video of them like sitting quietly with trans flags. It's like, I'm sorry, you don't get to, as cis people, tell trans people what's appropriate. I mean, do you think that queer people got rights by being polite? Stonewall was a riot. I made this point in my video. We don't like we can't sit there and like cross our fingers and hope that public opinion changes, so then we can ask, can I please have some rights? Maybe one right, two rights. Like that's not how. And the thing is that they know
that
criticizing
Stonewall, like they'd be on the wrong side of that. Like that's.
Yes.
Sorry, they were a little bit too rowdy, and people are going to be turned off by the rioting. I'm sorry, but this is you can't just sit idly by and ask politely. You have to say, "Give me my fucking rights now. I'm going to take them." And so that's why, like, if they talk to queer people and trans people, they would understand that and why this type of protest is necessary. Trans people are facing a fucking genocide in this country, so I don't think that tone policing them about the way that they speak to transphobes going on national tours to argue against their rights is appropriate from their perspective as cis people.
Well, and again,
honestly, shout out to Jessie Gender. Jessie Gender did an amazing video on this topic where she basically laid it out, where it's like, hey, by the way, we have to set the terms. And cis people, me, I'm cis. The cis folk who are oppressing trans people, we should be listening to they have to set the terms of their own liberation. The same applies to every other civil rights movement. Like, I'm a white person. I shouldn't tone police black people on how they should be liberating themselves, on how we should do this. Hey, by the way, don't get like uppity, don't speak out of turn, don't do that. That we have to sit back and listen, and especially when the entire community comes forward and they're like, this ain't it. You should please. You are normally an ally. You are normally fucking very, very good. You are normally based. What are you doing? Why? Please don't do this. You know.
And just remember the big old right talking point, because I managed to actually make a video that's politically on point for once. But this past month, we released a video about the woke mind virus. Right? We all make a joke about it, and the reality is, when it comes down to these kind of straw man talking points and arguments, it's all about control. It's all about distracting from what's going on, because if you're enraged about something else, you're not going to be able to see straight and see what the real problems are going on here. And the issues are, they put up non-issues like, oh my God, M&Ms are not sexy anymore, and Mr. Potato Head is just a potato head now. Meanwhile, they're passing all these bills, they're introducing all these bills, they're causing real harm. If we look at, what was it, the 10 steps of genocide, we're on step fucking 7. People are finding out there's 5 types of genocide. Like, there's real shit going on, and there's fake outrage about M&M's not being able to wear sexy boots anymore. And I'm like, this is stupid.
Mr. Potato Head.
I think something that the left kind of needs to keep in mind too, and something I've been thinking about, is a lot of people like Jank and Anna will take the framing from the right and run with it and just argue on those terms. I think it's really important to stop engaging in the right-wing framing, because they control, in a lot of cases, I mean, in historically and now with the trans like talking points, they control a lot of the national narrative, because we just respond to what they say. And I think it's really important that we need to build like a new narrative, need to stop just responding to their terms, you know?
Well, I think we should talk about these things without. We can talk about these things without talking about them. Like I said from the beginning of when I had a problem with what was said in the tweet, I just talked about the issues, like with no reference to any level of a controversy. Like, you can do it, right? Like, these arguments, no one makes, they're not novel. They've been made elsewhere, and I think that's what's more important, that we just address, like, just call things out as what they are. Like, these are straw men, these are in bad faith, this is disingenuous, and then move on, but not just keep arguing in the weeds of bad faith straw men. arguments that are being posed intentionally to distract us and deflect, because that's what they want us to do. They want us to be lost fighting on these like made up mythical points instead of doing what we should be. Yep.
For once, we're nice and quiet. This is on you.
Yeah, questions, right?
Any questions tonight? Because I assumed this was going to fill us all the way the fuck up.
Oh, we didn't ask for questions. That's hilarious.
No. I mean, there's plenty to still talk about. I mean, we can sit here, be like, we're done with this shit. They're going to spiral off on Twitter, do what they're going to do. But we do have real shit to talk about.
Yeah.
There are super chats. I could also, I mean, if there's questions about stuff from all three of our
I will
accounts.
say though, because Mike isn't here right now, but Mike's completely on point when he talks about this like the original fucking Pride was not a fucking celebration. This is a riot. This is a fucking protest. They're like we have the shoulders of giants before us. If you are like either in the queer community, part of the LGBTQ plus, or if you are just someone who's an ally and wants to support them, then yes, there's this long legacy of very, very difficult struggle that has happened, and that needs to be honored. That needs to be honored, and that needs to be respected. And that's one of those things where like you get to this point where, yeah, I fuck up all the time. I'm a cis dude who fucks up. I'm a white dude who fucks up. Like even if I'm a white native, I fuck up all the time. To err is human. To forgive is divine. And people should be open to that road. And I'm totally on board with, hey, just correct yourself. That's it. Just like listen to your friends, the people who love you. That what more can be said? Everyone who loves you is saying this is wrong, and everyone who you hate is saying this is based.
So I pray y'all come to terms with
the worst. You know, that's it.
They get it. They get it. They get it. Everybody and their mama has explained it. It is not that they do not understand with their friends or they don't want to hear it. It is deliberate, y'all. It is deliberate.
If that's not true, then they're going to want to prove you wrong. So we will see if they're going to
there
prove
you
you
go.
wrong or not.
I hope they
There you go.
don't. That is the most.
I think you know. Let me just address this right quick because I'm looking at the super chat or whatever. This one person is he giving money to talk shit? What is DOP? Because I don't see the dollar amount by it.
I love those. Those
what
are
is
amazing.
That?
People pay money to talk shit. It's I think that's.
Is that what it is? So
do,
yeah. It's I think it's very funny how people believe it's interesting. Like you can't tell me as a black person, you don't get to tell me as white people what y'all have decided isn't racist or who you've decided isn't racist, whose advocacy you are so particularly impressed with.
We have to
and you don't get to recognize you don't get to recognize some massive offense in the term birthing person. We are not going to sit here and pretend like this is some kind of slur that she is allowed to as a woman to feel so mortally offended by or whatever and act like I am some bad demon because I pull out the videos of her saying like, bro, give me a break. Like, honestly, first of all, when you start shit, you start shit. Let's start there. Like, you can, this whole idea because you wrote a check your ass can cash, like all of a sudden, like, I'm the villain, I'm the bully. These are people with millions of subscribers, with over 500,000 followers on Twitter, millions of subscribers on YouTube. By no means are they the underdog, okay? They came after me. Just because it didn't work out the way they wanted to work out does not make me the bully and the bad guy. That's one. Two, I could pull out whatever. I had way more fucking clips than that. If you think that's it, I had a real one sitting in the tuck. Like, should really get cracking. Like, bro, yes. And like, and also I think it's so interesting how like people treat it's okay for y'all to be racist and spew racism and microaggressions and all this misogynoir, but you feel like you could tell me as a black person what is and isn't offensive, yet like, oh, this is all good, right? Like, oh,
Binder started it.
Olay.
Yeah, right. Olay, right.
Binder shouldn't have been on the chopping block, okay? Binder, you beautiful. You should have the fucking.
Her coming out and do what she does.
Somehow. What are you saying, Lance? You're laughing too much. I can't tell what you're saying.
You went harder than Olayemi did. Like way harder than Olayemi did. Like Binder was the first person to be like, you know what? I do not agree with the civil politics of this discussion, and at this moment, I'm now going to have to say straight up, I disagree. I disagree with that. And he did not catch the fury. He did not anywhere close.
I feel like the Joker meme. Some people just want to watch the world burn. That's me.
But the ridiculous part. Anna is crying about it. Everybody is so sympathetic to this mythical problem where she's called a person once. But y'all can literally look and see me called every kind of racist thing in all the comments that she has summoned my way, sending all kind of right-wing people and blah, 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 blah. But you don't see me making any, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. No one is sympathetic to that. No one, as a Black woman, anytime I say anything about how I'm particularly talked to in these comments, what is said about me, no one is sympathetic. Everybody wants to dismiss that and blah, blah, blah. But all this birthing person nonsense, the real offense here is even implying that there could be something racist about this white woman choosing to go after the Black woman in a panel full of white people expressing the same sentiments after thousands of people have dragged them for fucking filth for these comments. That's not, bro, give me a fucking break. So I say all that to say y'all could get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
Well, I just have to say, as a white person, Olay, you being offended by that. Listen, I need people to understand this. This is a white person saying it, so you should be able to accept this. You can't tell a Black person what they can and can't be offended by. Like, listen, I'll watch these old ass movies from the 2000s, and the homophobia that I see, it makes me feel a certain way. And it's old. The actors probably wouldn't say that now, but when you're part of these marginalized communities, not like being gay is the same as being Black, but just when you're like the target, it affects you a certain way. So you can't tell Olay that she can't be offended by this, even if it is old. We all know it's old.
And let me just be clear. I'll be honest with you. I'm not offended. I don't give a fuck. I don't. I just want to point out that one, it is hypocrisy to ever have lived for you to be moving now this major birthing person is this slur that needs to be taken out of people's lexicon. And even when you have acknowledged, everybody knows it only is used in a medical context, but you still can't even accept that. But yet you were telling me there's a context. There was ever a context where this is okay for you to be moving and saying that. And let me say this to all these people. I don't know what what this white leftist internet space has looked like over the last 10 years, what it looks like now. But I've been alive since 1993. It was not okay in 2012 to Black people for you to be saying nigger repeatedly. No, it was not. We would not have been good with it. I was there. I was alive in 2012. I was alive in 2012. I was alive in 2014. I was alive in 2010. I was alive in 2011. We weren't good with it. So just because y'all was okay with something, no. And I've seen a lot of people who didn't know about that, who are in the leftist internet space, who have, respect for them based on deferring to what are the opinions of the other people in the space who keep saying that, who never knew about those things and would not allow them to walk around acting like the king and the queen of the left, condescending to everybody and talking down to people when they have a track record filled of a whole bunch of bullshit. That's what I'm saying. They need to shut the fuck up. They are not these leftist Puritans. They are not anybody's scholar. They keep talking to people like they're Angela Davis, and they're not. That's all I'm saying. They're not. They're not.
Kind of the funny thing to it too, which is kind of what you were getting at, was you said people say the most horrific shit to you. Publicly, I'm sure if you take DMs, they have DMs, they just say the most horrific fucking shit to you. And as also a white woman, just like Anna, I don't experience that same level of vitriol, right? Because I'm white, and also people are just like, oh, you hide behind a pyramid, so blah, blah, blah. But the reality is, if this situation of her being called a birthing person actually did occur, what she felt was a tiny fucking sliver of what you deal with multiple fucking times a day, every fucking day. And she turned it into this big fucking stink and shat all over the space.
Again, I said, right? Like I said, no one has been talked about more. She said thousands of people my way. No one has been being talked about more or attacked than me. Way worse than any damn birthing person. Okay, I'll tell you that. I get talked about worse than a birthing person in the comments on my own damn show live every single Thursday. And y'all don't see no video from me. She literally made me the topic of discussion. All kind of shit said in my way all motherfucking week. And where my video? Y'all don't see me talking about I'm not working with the left. And let me be honest. And I'll be like in a different world where I didn't believe this was intentionally engineered, I would be sensitive if I thought they were truly just spiraling because their feelings are hurt, or because after a while getting attacked online. That's a lot to deal with, right? Because I could understand that if it was, but I believe that this isn't a thing that they intentionally engineered for attention. That's what I truly believe. I know that. I see the recipe. I told Lance the night they did. I said, Lance, bet money they talk about it on the show. Are they gonna do like a casual aside, pretend like it's an aside, like they do? And show enough, baby. I knew they was gonna do it. So listen, no. That's my answer.
Seriously, we haven't even reached episode 20 yet, and if you take all of the comments, out of all of us, who gets the most shit? Who gets the most shit?
It's Olay.
It's Olay.
No, yes.
Come on.
It's because of that David Dole audience, I'm telling you.
If they're still here by episode 20, they can't hate Olay that much. I mean,
bro, Sean, there's a guy, Sean, in the comments who's been all night bitching. I'm like, oh my god, Sean, find a life.
And I see Vince in the comments and Jay Sproul. To you two specifically, suck my dick. Okay, you keep talking shit about me. Okay.
I love y'all. You know what's wild? This has made me so much closer to every single person here. I've just been like, no.
That is true.
I'm all in. I love y'all. You are all fantastic.
Oh, I love you too.
Yeah. I very much so, because I felt I was out getting drinks with my friend, because I was in Philly, guest lecture. I was guest teaching at Temple University, teaching their hip hop and law class, which was so fun. And so I was meeting up with one of my friends, and who is not online, so he's a hater of those that are online, and he's like, I see like Lance is texting me, like I'm like, and I see tweets, and I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, I'm like, I have to respond to this right quick. Something is, you don't understand. There's my show. There's this thing, blah blah blah. And he's like, I really blah blah blah. You be on your phone. I'm like, listen, I swear you don't understand. There really is. You believe it or not, there's a whole thing happening. And I was like, I can't leave my co-host out to dry. And I realized at that moment, I was like, oh, me and Lance we're like locked in for the mafia.
Yeah. They chose war. They chose war. We're going to fucking battle. Here we go. You know? Let the memes commence. Unleash the memes.
The minute David said anything, David had any position, I was like, oh, they done fucked up now. I was like, if David has to be on the team with us, they done fucked up.
No, that's true. No, that's true.
Yeah.
I'm admittedly a big defender for good reason. Like, they had a big impact on me. So if this is why they should fucking listen. Like, people like Emma and me are saying shit, there's a problem.
Hassan, shit, that's his nephew.
Yes,
you guys are
We're not the drama guy.
You guys are finally experiencing how I felt when Hulk Hogan ended up being a huge racist. Let me tell you.
No, you know, that's the other day when
so
Vince Vaughn wasn't a good white guy. When I found out
he's not. He's no.
Oh, that was so crazy.
Who is who?
Vince Vaughn.
Oh, Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, that hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my mom.
I was gonna say, Ric Flair's always been my guy. So Ric Flair's good people, still good people, I think. So,
there's a lot of
in terms of wrestlers.
Ric Flair? No. He sexually assaulted a flight attendant on an airplane.
All right, I'm gonna log it off now. So
that's crazy.
Jesus.
Damn.
There's no perfect wrestler, I guess. I don't know.
Mike, really quick, can you just do that voice you did again when you were talking about fighting for rights? You did a little voice earlier. Can you just do that voice again?
Can I have one civil right, please? That one.
I gotta ask you, what civil right is Jordan Peterson fighting for?
Asking me?
Because that sounds like a Jordan Peterson impression.
No, you know what I think it is? So I felt like I developed that voice on my own. I'm pretty sure that I heard Kyle Kalinske make that voice, and I just copied him, and I thought it was my own. I think that's a Kyle Kalinske voice. I'm pretty sure. You know, so I've got to pay deference to the king who came up with that, because it's a good voice.
So we can get to questions.
You guys want to say questions?
Video.
Yeah.
I do have a video.
Oh.
This I saw this today because we all know. All right. To set this up, in case you forgot, or in case you didn't.
David Dole's about to drop the mic on Anna Kasparian with a new video. I'm assuming. No, I'm joking.
Tinder wants fury, choosing chaos.
No, David is going to play the new trailer for Tears of the Kingdom.
You guys are screwing on my intro here.
I'm sorry, David.
You all missed this week, or in case you missed this week, Bud Light went woke. So
True.
In response to that, there is a new beer in town, and I think we all need to check out their commercial. This is so
good. Great pivot.
So
David,
ridiculous.
You're on point. Well done.
I'm on point, as I often am. This what the hell? Where is it?
Oh, we look cooler now.
It looks like there's so many more of us.
I know. It's the same amount. Wow, optical illusions. You're just like,
oh, here we go. This is the problem. Here we go. So there's a new beer in town. Check out this amazingness.
Oh no, not this shit.
America's been drinking beer from a company that doesn't even know which restroom to use.
Wasn't that the handicap restroom?
I created conservative
Pause it. What's this guy doing coming out of the bathroom with
that's my first question. I don't know what the hell is happening.
What were you doing in there, buddy? Who else was in there with you?
Under the stall.
Nothing I want more.
In case anyone
cold brewski.
In case anyone doesn't know what sparked this, this is so stupid. Dylan Mulvaney, who's like a trans activist, is a trans influencer, did one sponsored post with Bud Light, and apparently the right lost their mind and bought a bunch of Bud Light because we all know that hurts them, and destroyed the beer. Kid Rock shot up a bunch of beer. It's so
Kid Rock, that's
insane.
fucking idiot. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, it's so out of this world insane. And at the same time, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene bought like Coors Light in response. Meanwhile, Coors Light has like 2 decades of being pro LGBT.
Clear. Like my thing is, they get mad when we say you don't want trans people in existence, but they literally say that because what are you protesting if not the presence of a trans person is what you're protesting? Right, that's what they're against. Like they're not advocating. It's commercial for beer. They're trying to sell beer. They're not advocating for trans rights.
I don't know who Dylan Mulvaney was if it wasn't for the right. If it wasn't for the right wing fucking griftosphere, I wouldn't know who Dylan Mulvaney was and how angry they are about her.
And
they are
I don't know
obsessed with her.
Who is Dylan Mulvaney? Who is Dylan Mulvaney?
So I'm trans and I don't even know who this person is. I didn't know who this person was. Yeah, that's her.
It's Dylan Mulvaney.
Yeah,
she was basically
I'm trans and I don't even know who this person is.
She was before she transitioned. She was on Book of Mormon on Broadway.
I don't know.
And then she transitioned and became like a TikTok star. Okay. Basically, she existed solely on TikTok because TikTok lives in like a bubble where like people who are absolutely huge with more followers than Elon Musk has on Twitter are unknown outside of TikTok somehow, but they're like huge on TikTok, and she's like one of those people.
Well, what Dylan did was really cool too. She did a series on TikTok because I actually do follow Dylan on TikTok. I think her journey has been really cool to watch, and I feel terrible for the hate she's getting. Dylan went on TikTok and started this series of like a day XYZ as a woman, and every day she slowly showed people through the ins and outs of what it is like to transition and what she deals with on a daily basis, and talking about new things that she has to learn and sharing these moments of vulnerability and insecurity with her audience. And it was a really impactful piece. This is something that I believe like Blair White did like a year ago, and a couple other trans YouTubers and stuff, where they showed their journeys and they talked very candidly with their audience. And this is what Dylan is doing for a new generation.
Really dope.
This is what these people are attacking.
Yeah. The worst part is they're not even attacking that. They're just attacking literally the existence of trans people because they're not even going that far into it. They just see a trans person and it's like, oh no, we can't stand for that. We can't. God forbid you normalize people seeing trans people just being about doing things like everybody else. Like, no, we won't have that.
And I said Blair White. I think it was like Gigi Fabulous, maybe, is I think who did it instead, not Blair White. Either way, sorry about that.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But another ridiculous part about this is you pointed out she's like basically just a TikTok person. That paid Bud Light ad, it was just on her TikTok. It's not like it was on TV. These right-wingers are going out of their way to like go to her TikTok to download her videos to constantly post all this stuff. It's not even like it was a TV ad. It was just a TikTok like promoted video.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So then oh my god! I just what is this?
They made her famous basically, and now now people that are just capitalists are smart enough to know, hey, there's a right-wing audience that is super stupid, that we could sell this overpriced beer to them and frame it as this right-wing beer, and that's what they're doing here.
Conservative dads, ultra right, 100% woke-free beer.
This is so funny.
As conservatives, we're constantly getting hit in the face, left and right, by the woke mind virus. But the last place we want
is so hard
is in our beer. If you know which bathroom to use, you know
Pause it. If your whole thing's that you're a manly man, a real American conservative dad, let's throw a baseball without putting your little foot up in the air behind you like you're. What was that?
Also,
pitching it.
You're supposed to be a masculine man, and this is the fucking problem you have in your life, where it's like, oh, this oppresses me. This is hard. Oh God, I have to use pronouns the same way I have my whole life. This, honestly,
it's just amazing.
Precious.
He's saying
you're
things
so
like
precious.
He's saying things like woke mind virus unironically. Like this is just like how this could be a parody, but it's serious. It's what's amazing.
Place we want it. is in our beer.
Oh my God.
If you know which bathroom to use, you know what beer you should be drinking. Stop giving money to woke corporations that hate our values.
Oh, fuck me.
Woke corporations.
Yeah, brother.
Love the woke corporations.
To the rest of you woke corporations, stay the away from our kids.
It's beer.
Oh my
You
God.
should be away from your kids, jackass. It's beer. What are you talking about? Stay away from your kids. It's beer. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Bro, what?
So another
And I'm
amazing
sure it's
thing
going
about
to be incredibly
beer,
expensive.
too.
And just
Oh, I was actually just going to say that. So that's an amazing thing about this beer. You can buy six packs on their website for $35.
of course, of course.
$35. I'm not even joking.
Go
That is the minimum
anti-woke,
price.
broke. What is
Minimum
Same thing
price.
with the chocolate. Remember they had that chocolate. Was it chocolate?
That was Jeremy's chocolate. Yeah, that's
Jeremy's
She, her, and
chocolate.
he, him.
Jeremy
chocolate,
Boring of Daily Wire. They did the Harry's razor competitor, Jeremy's razors, because apparently razors went woke, and then they did the chocolate because Hershey's went woke, and then they now we got a guy doing beer because Bud Light went woke. My God,
They're monetizing the dumbest people in society is what they're doing. It's and at the same time pushing this hate while doing that. It's disgusting and just it's capitalism at its worst. Like this is just
And this is going to be a trend too, because I don't know if you guys remember that chocolate ad, the Jeremy's chocolate, but this was basically a carbon copy of that ad. This is just going to be like the game plan going forward. There's going to be like a trans activist that gets sponsored by like Subway, and then there's going to be like
Jeremy sandwiches.
Jeremy sandwiches, and then it's going to be, do you want your kids to not to know about gender? It's going to be the exact same game plan. Like that this is the formula that they're currently making, that type of ad.
And let's be clear, when we look at the 10 stages of genocide, right? So a lot of people are saying we're at stage 7, which is the preparation point. But there's the other stages that are a little more subtle. And this is absolutely one of those things. When we're talking about the classification and the dehumanization and polarizing people, this is all part of the bigger thing. You desensitize the mass audience to say that trans people are not okay. These people are not safe. And like we talked about earlier, a lot of people just rely, or like what Olay was saying, a lot of people rely on experts to help them form their opinion because they do not have the time to do the research. So they're looking at this being thrown about everywhere on social media and goes, well, I don't know, maybe these people do have a point. And that's how you start to get this us versus them mentality. That's how this becomes normalized. And then suddenly it doesn't feel like hate anymore. And then this is just normal, and this is how people fucking die. Like, how do you guys think in like Jim Crow era laws, how do you think black folks were getting lynched? Do you think it was because they all went to church together and they're like, hey, buddy, come on over, it's that time? No, that's not what happened at all. They were not seen as people. They were seen as less than. They were ripped apart from society. That how possibly could this human, just because of different skin color, is not the same as us whites? This is exactly what's happening again. And the problem with us as a society is if we do not learn from history, we will continue to repeat it over and fucking over again. We are simply changing the context, but it is the exact same fucking fight over and over again.
Same logic and rhetoric that was used towards the gay community and gay men, and like just being repeated all over again. And now it's just like, oh, we're just going to rebrand this now for trans people. But this is essentially the exact same culture war. We're still targeting and trying to other this one group. But hey, we're like, it's not socially acceptable to do it the way it was. It's not in vogue, you know, the way it was before to go after the gays. So now we'll do the same shit for trans folk.
And a lot of it is the same arguments. It's a lot of the same arguments. A lot of the same like dog whistles, like talking about like the implications of pedophilia. I mean, that was one of the first issues. Yeah, groomers. I mean, in 2012, when I first started getting into politics, gay rights was one of the things that I was really focused on, because that was, I think, around the time when gay marriage was kind of actually coming into focus and seeming like a possibility. And the amount of Fox News hosts that I would see be like, "Oh, they're just groomers," but it's going to be slippery slope. There's going to be people marrying dogs. It's like this is the exact same culture war, like 10 years later. It's insane to watch.
I will say, there's maybe hope still for Joe Rogan, because he's slammed by fans for defending Bud Light.
Oh my god. Okay,
Not what I
David,
expected to hear.
not only Joe, come on. We got to say this. Mr. Beast, I am one of the most targeted leftist fucking vocal. I hate Mr. Beast. And the only person who's bigger than me on this panel is Juniper. The two of us target Mr. Beast 24/7. And we do it with facts and logic. And we come at it from a rational perspective. In this case, Mr. Beast is Mr. Based. Like him standing up for his trans friend and being like, hey, by the way, fucking fuck this shit. Of course, I'm gonna call this out and be like, that is fucking amazing. That's incredible. The largest YouTuber in the world. If one trans kid feels safer now, feels better, it's like I'm not scared to go outside because Mr. Beast of all people is standing up for his trans friend. That's so beautiful.
I fixed a Feastables display. I went to Walmart. I fixed all of the Feastables chocolates.
My kids and I actually dined at a Mr. Beast burger the other day. No joke.
Did you really?
Burgers weren't bad. Pretty good burgers.
Oh, they were terrible for me. Oh man, the ghost kitchens, all that whole debacle.
Oh no, this is not the ghost kitchen. In the American Dream Mall in New Jersey, there's a legit, real Mr. Beast burger
in Vancouver, Canada. It's a ghost kitchen. I ordered from it. It was some of the worst fucking vile shit. Blair, do you want to go next? I know it was worse for you.
I mean, I got sick. I threw up in my friend's bathroom after eating it. It was
But you had the ghost kitchen one, right? You ordered it, and yeah.
I did too.
No, this is an actual sit-down restaurant. The food tastes like it's actually prepared just for that restaurant and isn't some other establishment just using the Mr. Beast name. It was legit.
Yeah, I think there's only a couple of those in the country. I don't know the exact amount, but it's mostly ghost kitchens, which is a whole other issue with Mr. Beast, of course. I'm not well versed in that enough to be able to get into that myself, though. There's a really good video by Eddie Burback, I think his name is, on YouTube,
it's so good.
about ghost kitchens, though, if anyone's interested in learning about that.
I bought into the lie. I ordered from ghost kitchens all the time, and I would be like, oh whoa, there's like 3 or 4 like new spicy Korean chicken, like fried chicken places in my area. Awesome. I didn't know they were all the same restaurant. I didn't know they were all the same place, and this is destroying mom and pop operations. And this very I hate the mysticism of trying to tell people I'm doing this because I care. I did this because COVID happened, and I did this because of this. You know, this is the reason why I tried to help restaurants and mom and pop. But holy fuck, like 2 things can be simultaneously true. That sucks, and it's also awesome that Mr. Beast is supporting his trans friend.
This conversation just inspired me. We got to get on this right-wing grift and open up a series of ghost kitchens across the country with names like the Anti-Woke Walk or the Conservative Dad Burgers. And it'll just be like, a front, like, some local burger place. We just team up with restaurants across the country with fake conservative names. Steven Crowder's macaroni and cheese and stuff like that. We'll be set.
It's so easy. I mean, people are paying that $35 for that anti-woke beer. Like, people are actually buying that shit. Right. Like, are you kidding me? Right. It's like 4% alcohol. They're gonna get a light buzz from a whole pack at most. Like, come on, people.
I just think it's funny that they like to say go woke, go broke or whatever, yet they're so willing to shell out their precious little stretch thin pennies on $35 shit beer. I just find that hilarious. I'm like, who's really suffering here?
What makes me so happy is the way that they all were trying to portray the Super Mario Bros. Movie as woke because Peach was a girl boss, but then the movie did really well at the box office, and then they're like, "Oh no, it's anti-woke. That's why it's doing so successful." Aha!
Wait, what?
And some of the reasons they said is because they cast white guys as Italians. That was the reason it was like anti-woke. Apparently, it was a win for the white people. Is how Charlie Kirk, I think, framed it.
Oh my God.
Funny. That's so funny. Yeah, no, it's so they were super angry that it was like a girl boss movie for a long time, and then that was the entire narrative. They kept pushing that, and then once it came out, it was like, well, yes, Princess Peach can be the hero. If you didn't know this, in the second American Super Mario game, Princess Peach is a playable character, and I'm going to confess, I couldn't beat the game unless I was Princess Peach. I only beat
Right.
Super Mario 2 on the NES, the American version, because he floats.
She's like easy mode in
That's
that
the only
game.
way I can
Yeah.
beat it. Yes,
Easy
she's
mode,
easy
yeah.
mode.
Yeah.
And that's how I beat it for the first time as a kid. Yes.
In that
100%,
same
I
game,
confess.
in that same game, we are introduced to Birdo, which is a trans character. That is canon. That is canon.
Nintendo
So,
confirmed.
yeah.
100%.
So for those who aren't aware, it is indeed a very much a woke franchise, and Nintendo itself, in Japan, they don't have same-sex marriage. Nintendo came out and endorsed same-sex marriage. So, I mean, if you're seeing Super Mario Brothers, you're contributing to the woke mind virus, conservatives. So I'm sorry about that.
They just obviously didn't see the movie either, that they're claiming it was a big anti-woke victory, because aside from Peach being like this extremely strong character, who in my opinion actually stole the movie. Every time she was on screen, she was the best character.
Girl boss, it's woke.
Wow.
I saw the movie with my kids. I enjoyed it. But there's also, if they actually saw the movie, we would have heard them outraged because Rainbow Road is a major part of the movie, and we all know how they feel about rainbows. And there is a scene where Bowser's right-hand man, that magician guy, dresses in drag. Nobody, if they saw this movie, he dresses up like Peach with lipstick and in a dress and everything, so Bowser can practice hitting on Peach.
You took your kids to see this, Matt?
Holy shit.
Yeah, I took my kids to see drag during the Mario Brothers movie. It's a great point, Mike, right? I am officially a groomer. I guess you could call me a Goomba groomer.
Okay, Goomber.
This is never going to get clipped. This is never going to be uploaded to the internet.
So something I wanted to say that's amazing about right wingers with these like weird like protests and boycotts though is like how you pointed out, they were saying like, oh, this Mario movie is anti-woke, but Nintendo endorses gay marriage and all this. And the another amazing thing about the anti-woke beer is it looks like, I don't think it's been confirmed, but it was brewed in North Illinois, and there is mostly only Anheuser-Busch distilleries in Northern Illinois. So it's like none of these people protesting stuff understand like how corporations all have this like power and like they own all these different businesses, all these different brand names. They don't understand their own complaints. It's stunning to watch. And
I do have to shout out the chat that just came up with exactly what I should be called. I'm a Groomba.
I can't wait for the article about this, calling you out, calling you a groomer, a Daily Wire article.
I'm a groom. Everyone who took their kid to see the Mario movie, the largest box office ever for an animated film, is apparently a Groomba.
Yeah.
They should run with this. This will go great for conservatives in elections, calling everyone who took their kids to see Mario a Groomba.
I don't know. I mean, look, Birdo got that, you know, I'm a big fan. I don't care if someone's wearing a dress. Hell yeah, everyone should wear a dress. If you ever want to dress, that shit's comfortable.
Listen, here's what we need to do, folks. Okay, we need to astroturf anti-woke outrage specifically about this movie. Create this fake account and screenshot that drag character, and then we'll all blow it up like, oh, conservatives are outraged about this, and then we can somehow get it into the narrative, raise the salience of it, and then that'll be in their agenda. It'll be in the rotation. Jason Campbell will share Charlie Kirk's take on it, and then Ben Shapiro's. We can actually do this if we all work together, folks.
Let's do it. I'm down.
I will. The one who can do this, honestly.
I'll make it. I'll make an article. I'll make a fake article. We'll get this going.
Like I got serious.
I'm serious about this. I'll do it. I'm down.
Yeah, it's true. I'm on board too. Yes, I'll retweet.
Confirmed.
Here, hold on. I'm gonna drop the photo of the character in drag, so you guys could all see.
Oh, if you have the photo, that's all we need.
It hasn't gone up.
Oh my! Oh no! Is this the woke mind virus come to life?
Oh my goodness! You prepare to have your mind blown.
Oh no, David, what's about to happen?
And here's another one.
Oh my goodness!
Here's another one. There's a side angle.
My word.
Wow.
I think you're right. That like
this
Charlie Kirk and all these people didn't see this movie because they would absolutely complain about this if they saw this movie. This is something they would complain about.
Listen,
that's so cute. That's so cute.
Yeah, she's looking good.
This is
oh, by the way,
this is
very cute. I'll agree.
We ordered the bear. Me and my best friend ordered the RuPaul
you did?
bear. Hell yeah, we did. That cheese flies out. And
It's
the minute
cute.
we were literally the night before I saw your video about Ben Shapiro being he had already sent me the bear, and we were over here dying off the wig of the bear and the bear little shape and the shoes. And so we were already buying it. We had picked out a whole little fit. And then when we saw that Ben Shapiro was mad about it, we were like, 2 bears. We gotta go.
There you go.
Protest bear.
Yeah.
Listen, I do just want to close out this Mario segment. For the record, as a gay man, I think I could speak as somewhat of an authority on this issue. But if I were to see that as a kid, it would probably turn me gay faster. So if you took your kids to see the Mario movie and they were exposed to that drag, they're going to be gay or trans. So
or more gay.
Or more gay.
Well,
I mean, if they were going to be a 4 on the Kinsey scale, now they're a 6, and you did that. You did that.
Nintendo grooming the youth.
These Groombas who took their kids to see the Mario movie.
I mean, all you got to do is you really just had to have played Legend of Zelda once.
Breath of the Wild.
Just play as Link just once. Come on. I mean,
in Breath of the Wild, Link literally has to dress in drag to get into a specific town where only women are allowed, and you have to do that to progress.
I mean, if you ask me, Link
Oh,
doesn't even have to dress in drag. Link is
Link is a twink.
He's
Very, yeah.
Link looks pretty good, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, on that note, I do want to open this segment by talking about on May 12th. That is the day when Breath of the Wild 2, Tears of the Kingdom comes out. David is queuing up the segment. We're going to do a game. No, I'm just kidding. No, sorry. I wouldn't do that too. I'm so stoked. I'm so sorry. I am
definitely, I'm going to be all in on that for sure.
I'm taking the week off. No, I'm just kidding, but I want to.
If you haven't seen
Not a
it,
bad
can I
idea.
introduce all of you to the raw data and facts about right-wingers and trans porn? Because I don't know if you've seen the data. I just put it in the chat, David.
Please.
It's
I see it now.
nuts when you see the fucking numbers on this shit. The very people who try to pass the worst laws against LGBTQ folk, doesn't matter who they are obsessed with them sexually. And now we have the numbers. Now we have the raw data. Like, content warning, there are slurs because people search for slurs as they masturbate to marginalized communities. But yeah, they're obsessed. Like, Republicans overwhelmingly, according to the data, are obsessed with trans people and trans porn.
Their
It's like,
accusations are confessions.
yes, 100%. When you see the data, like, this is the facts over the horny feelings. This is the raw numbers, the red estates. The number 1 state is fucking Texas, for looking this shit up. Texas that is trying to pass all these draconian fucking anti-trans laws is obsessed with trans porn. They cannot get enough.
Here's the list.
Every single fucking, the list is nuts.
Oh my
You see it?
God.
Right? Like, look at these.
surprised.
These are the biggest ones.
I for one find this shocking.
Yeah, also, I'm not shocked by this at all, because I don't know how much you guys are in trans sex worker circles, but they will sometimes post or even just talk about them in group chats or whatever, where they'll get DMs from these 50-year-old dudes oh, hey, sexy, hey, and then you click on their profile and it's they have their full name. You can search them online. They have a wife. They're conservative.
Is one of them named Randy McNally by chance?
I mean, I don't know specifics. This is just a very common theme that I've noticed.
Nice bussy. Fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji.
But this is a common thing. You can talk to any trans sex worker online and they'll be like, oh yeah, half of my audience is these weirdo conservatives. Because
it reminds me of there's an Onion piece where back in 2012 or something, they were talking about how all the gay male prostitutes were suiting up for the biggest event of the year with the Republican nominating convention for president, and they were worried that there was so much demand they would run out of sex workers. It's a really old segment, but it's spot on.
It's nuts. It's the data, when you see the numbers, all of a sudden it's well, yeah, this is. I've always wondered why people go so fucking the called the woke mind virus, whatever you want to call it. When you see people like Graham Linehan, who are I lost my family, I lost my wife, I lost my kids, I lost everybody because I couldn't stop talking and thinking about trans penises. It's you're obsessed, all of you.
Mm-hmm.
You're so obsessed. You're willing to take these extremes, and the data shows it. This is the facts over the feelings. Here it is. The raw data is right in front of you. They are obsessed with trans porn. Absolutely obsessed.
Yeah, and this is why when I say oftentimes, like if I'm talking about a transphobe or a homophobe, I often say there's got to be something there because like nobody thinks about homosexuality or being trans this much unless they're really like trying to suppress something, unless it personally bothers them. And people often accuse me of like, oh, you just think everyone is gay or trans. But listen, this is one of the biggest tells. If they overfixate on it, I'm sorry, it's a tell. If there were like if there was YouTube at the time when I was like a teenager, you would think that I was like this biggest homophobic warrior imaginable. I was like the fucking Westboro Baptist Church, and it was specifically because I was so bothered by like homosexuality, where it's like, God, look at these gays. I mean, we all want to be gay and fuck dudes, okay, but most of us just suppress that. Like, it's an actual anger that I was externalizing based on my internalized homophobia. And so it's easy for me to see that I was a tell, these motherfuckers are a tell, and they think that they're inconspicuous. I mean, look at Steven Crowder. The dude puts on a wig, and you could tell how comfortable he becomes all of a sudden. Oh, well, I'm just proving how, trans men can use women's bathrooms. When he's like sitting there fucking like, I don't know, like he's like posing for the camera and shit. It's like, dude, we can see right through you, motherfucker. We see right through you. So this is interesting. I love that there's data to back this up.
Yeah, because there is definitely something there, because people like Matt Walsh and all these people, they post about trans people more than I do. Like, yes! I do post a lot about trans stuff, but only, like, I really don't do that much. Like, in all reality, like, Matt Walsh, like, Ali London, the guy that tried to become Korean. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that dude.
Oh,
Ali London, yeah.
People. I've seen him on Twitter. Racist.
Yeah.
How racist do you have to be that you will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to be racist? To fucking do your race? Like, that's a commitment. That like you are.
He called that transitioning too. Like, he was like, I transitioned. It's like, no, you you did not. That is something else.
Yeah, that dude is just a fruitcake. That dude is fucking weird as shit. But yeah,
and
yeah,
it says a lot about like gender critical circles that he has a platform too,
Right.
And is the new hero, is the new champion. They're all like, hey, by the way, this is an authority on these issues, on detransitioning, on trans issues. Right now, we have Ollie London who can talk about this. It's like, what, Ollie London, the extreme racist who actually publicly was like, I'm getting penis reduction surgery to become more Korean, like BTS. That's extreme racism. You're just a racist. Why would you think this, let alone spend hundreds of thousands and then broadcast it on Maine? And in like back in the day, the right was like, no. This is wrong. Now it's a hero. Now Ollie London is the new hero on all these issues for the right wing, and that's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. You just were like, okay, fine. Now
the whole side is disingenuous. I mean, like, it isn't when you just realize that they're all operating in bad faith and understand what they're galvanized around. Then they're consistent. If you believe the pretense that they throw out to thinly veil, cover their bigotry, then it seems like a bunch of hypocrisy. But if you accept it for what it is, they're pretty fucking consistent. Bigots.
It's about the grift.
Yeah.
It's mostly about the grift for a lot of these people. It's about making money. It's about getting a platform.
Yep.
Yeah, but just a final message to all of these folks. We see you. If you focus on trans people or gay people 99.9% of the time, you are telling on yourself, okay? I am fucking literally married to a man, and I don't think about homosexuality this much. Like, on my mind, I just want to play Zelda right now. So, like, the fact that you think about this shit that much, you are telling on yourself.
I don't know if you could say both those things. So.
That's fair.
Oh,
that's very fair.
I think we're supposed to recommend a channel soon. People.
Yeah, that's right.
Look at me helping us.
Well, I'm gonna recommend everyone. I mean, I'm saying this as someone who has much less followers than they do.
I'm definitely.
But I want everyone to go follow Juniper over on Twitter.
Yeah.
Where the I is actually an L. It's JUNLPER. Is that correct? Right? Yeah.
That is correct. Yeah. Yep.
There we go.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Juniper is a legend. All right, everyone should
funniest account to watch on Twitter. I am always very entertained whenever I see a Juniper tweet pop up. I'm like, ooh, who's dying?
Agreed.
Agreed. I have a lot of fun. People are always like, how do you do this? How do you deal with like just constant barrages of like transphobia? It's like, I genuinely have fun. Like, I don't know. It's a fun platform. I have a great time on there. I don't know. I totally get why people like get depressed or like, get overwhelmed, but I'm having a great time.
I feel like you do need to have a certain like shell, like a certain bravado to be able to exist on Twitter and take it from. Because I mean, I feel the same way. I enjoy it. Maybe we're masochists, Juniper, but it really does feel like it's a website specifically for a very certain type of individual.
I think it requires
all the
sickos. Like I've been desensitized.
I think it's for a while. I think the internet in general, whether it be Twitter or any application and any app that you're on, if you're on in a big way where people really fuck with you, they all get overwhelming eventually to some degree. I feel like you always have to like take a step back and recoup because it can be a lot. I think anybody, just no person is truly cut out to deal with it all the time. Because there have been times when I'm like, oh yeah, like in the first year or two, it's like, yeah, I don't see you. And when my mentor would be like, I can't be on Twitter. But like, I'm like, oh, I can't. Oh, whatever. Then there are times I'm like, I fucking hate it here. I hate this motherfucking app. I hate it.
I have had those moments. I have had those moments where it gets very overwhelming. But I mean, overall, it's just been it's fun. It's been a really fun time.
I love
because you're always winning, because you're always destroying other people. Holy shit. When I see the ratios, I'm like, oh my God, may I never be in your crosshairs. May I never stand in opposition to Juniper.
And I'll be honest, like to me, that kind of like the ease that I have of like ratioing Matt Walsh, who has like 2 times or like 20 times my platform, it's like, oh, these people are really not that culturally tuned in. Like it feels a lot worse. Something I've tried to get across is, yes, this trans hate is really bad. It's like, especially in legislation, but it's a very loud minority of people. There's really not that many of them. It's mostly concentrated online. In real life, people are not as vicious as some of these I like to just call them freaks. I mean, this is where they can express their true opinions, and there's not that many of them. It really isn't.
Twitter discourse is run by a small amount of people. Like,
absolutely.
Like, that's just statistically the reality. It becomes loud, but it's not that many people like controlling, the main messaging and talking points that everyone's rallied around in reality. But yes, follow Juniper. Go do that.
I like to have fun. I'm a little silly with it.
Yes, I'm gonna plug myself today, like I did last week and the week before that. I'm gonna do it. Also, and thank you to everybody in the comments saying I'm pretty tonight. I appreciate it. I like when y'all like my face without my makeup. Thank you, appreciate it. But subscribe to Olurinaughtii on YouTube. I am putting out my new episode tomorrow. It's gonna be on Clarence Thomas. It is so good, y'all. The intro, I'm really getting my jokes off. I'm really eating Clarence up. So yeah.
Wait, Olay, you're not wearing makeup?
No.
Oh, see, boys, that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
And I was going for it too, like, ooh, Bender. But yeah, subscribe to my YouTube, Olurinaughtii. Look at y'all gassing me in the comments that wearing makeup. No, I'm not. I haven't for like the last few episodes. I got lazy. Thank you.
That's wild because both chats were so thirsty. I was like, chats, calm down.
Thank you. Let me find. Honestly, the reason why today I went to the bodega and the bodega got some guy in the bodega paid for my food, and then I went to Dunkin' Donuts and some guy in the Dunkin' Donuts paid for my thing, and then I went to the smoke shop and he paid for my thing. I was like, I must be cute today. Jesus must have sent me out real cute off the natural. We're gonna leave it like this. I'm not gonna mess. I'm not gonna fuck with the formula. So thank you. Subscribe to Olurinaughtii on YouTube. Watch my episode tomorrow. It is going to be great. You should watch my last episodes. They're all great too. It's a good time. Yeah.
Can I plug my podcast as well?
Yes.
So about 4 months ago, me and a couple of friends started a podcast called Western Kabuki. We just kind of talk about stuff online. Our new episode that's coming out tomorrow, we're going to be talking about basically like the worst tweets of the year so far. A lot of really funny ones. Another good episode that we've done is we've talked about Sneeko. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Sneeko, but that dude, that was a really fun episode that we did. So check that out. Maybe if you enjoy me, I would appreciate that.
Okay.
There it is.
Nice.
That's us.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Also, can I also say, just like live, I love the fact that you convinced the right that the fucking Mars bar veins were fucking penis veins. That's unreal. How did they fall
I forgot
for that?
that was you. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So
oh my
funny.
god.
I love it.
So funny. Mwah. Oh, chef's kiss. Honestly, I'm like, how do you even conceive that? And let alone pull it off? For all these right wingers, like they removed the veins because it went woke. The penis veins are gone on the Mars bar. Like, oh my god, they're actually doing this. They're upset.
Wait, I didn't remember. They actually got upset that they removed the penis veins.
So there were some people. There were some people that got really mad about it. Yeah.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let's break this.
This is a real thing that happened.
Let's break this down for a minute.
You're the best.
Conservatives who claim they want to stop sexualizing children were upset that the dick veins got removed from a children's candy bar. I'm trying to wrap my brain around that, but you can't really.
Oh my god.
This is God tier. This is why I say, like, we gotta pay homage.
Wait, Juniper, can you break this down because we can't just gloss over this?
It's too powerful.
So I'll be honest, I don't remember like why I did this. Oh, you know what? So I had COVID, and I was just like laying in bed because I felt horrible. I had COVID, and I was like, I'm just gonna make it. So I would say like a year ago, one of my like bits that I would do is I would like try to convince right wingers of like fake news. So that was like with Goblin Mode. That wasn't necessarily a political one, but for a while that was like my whole bit was trying to make fake news that was kind of fun that people might fall for. So the Snickers dick vein was one because that was, I think it was during when, I think it was right around when Tucker Carlson talked about how they're making the green M&M less sexy with taking away the heels. So I was, so that was like right around that time. So I was like, the Snickers has that vein. And I wanted to see what I could do with that and if I could get people amped up about that. So
that was kind of like the beginning of
that.
This does feel like an idea. This does feel like an idea that came out of someone who had COVID brain.
Yeah. When I was like laying in bed, I was like laying in bed. I felt horrible
for this. I didn't.
Yeah.
Did you make the Rolling fucking stone?
Yeah. I've been interviewed a couple times.
Man, we've been chatting with a god this whole time.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I like to be silly. I like to have fun.
That's amazing.
David, put my YouTube link in the comments for me, please. I put it in the private.
Oh, I will, of course, every time.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is the kind of stuff I like to get up to sometimes. It's been a while since I've tried to convince right wingers of fake news, but I'm gonna try to with that drag Koopa. I'm gonna put something together.
Oh my god, Juniper.
Oh wow, what's happening?
Yes.
The Groombas.
We are not worthy.
The
All right, people. Thank you so much. Thank you, Juniper, for coming on, and everybody else. I'm going to stay here for the super chats. Bender and Mike, are you as well?
Everyone.
Yeah, mine's well. Yep.
But especially good night to Anna Kasparian and Senk, who are probably watching this with bated breath. Y'all have a fabulous night tonight.
They don't watch our videos, I know, because they would. I mean, again, unless it's intentional. And then
Blair just called him Sank, and I gotta say, calling him Jank sounds like a personal preference. I mean, like.
Good night, y'all. Subscribe to my
I stand by Blair.
My video tomorrow.
Stand by Blair on this one.
Y'all
it's gonna be good.
Right.
Look up for my videos. Bye.
Thanks for inviting.
Bye.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Let's grab super chats. All right. Who wants to go first?
Doesn't matter to me.
I've got a couple.
I guess that's what I should have said. I'll do it. Go ahead.
Oh wow, there's quite a bit here actually.
I know I have more than usual as well.
Wow.
Try to rip through these.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to just take turns doing them then?
I think it's if we all just. Well, whatever. Do whatever.
Okay, I'll read one.
It's faster if we each just do each of us at a time.
Oh, okay, okay. That makes sense.
Oh my god, I didn't realize how many there were either. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Controversy creates cash. That's what the old wrestling motto is.
There's a super chat tab that all of our super chats are here. I could just bring one up at a time.
That's super cool.
There we go. There's a new member. I think this is for me. Thank you, Zuddy. This is mine as well. Lee says, if birthing person isn't offensive, do you feel is trans identifying male okay? I don't even understand the question necessarily.
I mean, it depends. Like, you should just identify them how they want to be identified.
Yeah. Nima says, why do you all love the imperialist, warmongering, strike-breaking pro squad?
Yeah,
Because-
this is a David Dole audience tweet. Comment I've been comment.
Wait, who is that yours, David?
Didn't the fraud squad just call to drop charges against Julian Assange, which would be down this person's aisle, or down this person's kind of focus, I would think. But
Yeah, Nima, let me just say, with respect, take Jimmy Dore's cock out of your mouth.
I can't believe these people are still. What this is a troll. There's no way this person actually watches my content, honestly. Anyways, this is somebody else. Oh, it doesn't say who. It shows that it's linked to a different person. It doesn't say who's super.
Okay, that one's mine. I can follow along in my own back. Do any of you see in Anna's I don't want to collaborate video that the obeisance of Jenk and the unhealthiness of that relationship? I mean, I think you're looking too into that. I think they're both on their own deciding to do this.
They've disagreed before on several issues. Like they've had heated disagreements on issues before, so I don't think that's necessarily true.
Which is weird because that's basically, we probably had a less heated confrontation, if you could even call it that, with Anna's comments, yet than they have on their own show. Yet we apparently are attacking them.
Yeah.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Leopard Rhinoceros says, consider the precedents for Jank Anna, the New Democrats, the Daily Coast, Crystal Ball.
I don't get it.
I don't really understand. I'm not following either. But thank you, Leopard. This one from Nelson Mercer. It doesn't matter who she is because of which wing she's on. It matters because she has so much dang clout. In terms of Anna, I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
This is somebody else, Gabriel Brown.
That's from mine. Yep. It just feels like betrayal from a friend or family member. Politics is personal, and my political mom is wilding.
I mean that too.
Yeah, I will say, I get that the internet, I've said this before on my stream tons of times. This is just maybe my personal opinion, and bad for business probably for me to have this opinion. But I do think the relationship between that people have with their favorite internet personalities could get weird sometimes. And I think it's unhealthy to do that, and I this sounds like one that's just in like this is a funny, like this is in good fun, but a lot of people have that. I'm having a mental block. I can't remember what the term for that is.
Parasocial relationship.
Thank you. Yes, the parasocial relationship between viewers and their favorite online creators could get weird, and I think it could especially be heartbreaking for people who have those relationships when it comes to political streamers, because everything's heightened, because we're not just talking about video games or movies or pop culture. These are policies that affect people's lives. So, I say, like your favorite streamers, but don't get attached in that way.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think this one is also for you, Bender.
Easier. Emma Viglin's pain is clear in Sam Cedar's response. Any comments? I mean, Emma has talked about it on the Majority Report multiple times now. She has also made it clear that she hates doing it, but she knows she has to. I get Emma Emma's in a position that I don't think anyone else is in. She was literally, in my opinion, the biggest star to come out of TYT that isn't like the main hosts on that show. And she left and went out on her own and joined the Majority Report. I mean, I'm with Emma every week. We do a show together. So for her, I definitely understand. It'd be like if all of a sudden, Sam Cedar turned out to be a huge a-hole, and that would be tough for me. Because it's that same sort of relationship that she has with them that I have with Sam. And I should mention that Sam could be an a-hole, but not that type of a-hole.
I know. I called the show once.
Yeah. So like Emma, I think has handled it really great. She has mentioned how hard it is for her to talk about it, but she fucking talks about it, and she puts it all out there. She said it herself. She's someone who wears her heart on her sleeve, and you could sort of tell. So if you see that she's uncomfortable in those videos, she absolutely is, but she's also not holding anything back when she's talking.
Yeah. We love Emma.
So I'm just going on the list, Mike. I'm sure at some point we'll get to one of yours.
Yeah, no problem.
I think this is mine as well. La Jourdain says David mentioned their inability to sift through troll hate and see the genuine feedback. I think cognitive dissonance kicked in. So what do we do now? We have. I mean, it's they have to apologize. That's if it was if it wasn't intentional to try and gain up some attention or whatever, as Olay thinks, then they have to recognize people like Hassan, Cenk's freaking nephew, like should be able to get through to them. I mean, if they're not willing to listen, then that's on them.
Yeah.
I even don't mean like for me, like I don't even think like obviously I'm not the community that was attacked here. So if trans people feel like that's what's necessary, then absolutely. Me personally, I don't care. I don't care about an apology or anything like that. Honestly, like they could just go on, like just do better. Like I mean, does that include an apology? If the people who were the focus of the words that they put on out there feel that way, then I agree. But for me personally, just do better and realize like why you were being criticized, and just like understand and accept it. Like I'm not saying, oh, if you want to be accepted ever again, you got to. That's not for me to say, nor do I feel that way or care. I'm not the people who felt accosted by what you had to say.
This is Sentient Guillotine says Assassination Classroom is being targeted by Karens Against Liberty, the faux alliance defending freedom. They're targeting manga now. I guess that's a manga. I'm not aware of this, but thank you, Sentient, for the super chat. There's no message on this one, but this is for someone. This is one of you two.
Oh, it must be a sticker.
Oh yeah, and then they also that's for me, and they have a comment in after.
Oh yeah, I see it here.
Has anybody actually seen Lance in real life? Actually, have any of you?
No.
I have not.
No, I
That's
was actually
a weird
in British
question.
Columbia a few months ago. Or was it last year? I don't even know. Time flies by. But
I mean, to be fair, I actually haven't met any of you in real life. So
That's true. Me and David met.
Oh yeah, I met Mike.
Oh, you have? Oh, where'd you guys meet?
This is I went to Portland in 2018, I think.
Yeah, we had lunch with our partners.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
That was
cool.
fun.
Well, I guess we'll meet soon when we put together the Leftist Mafia mini tour, right?
World tour.
That's right. Where's mine? Here's Marcus says, Olay, I have so much respect for you calling out the protect WW surge.
White women.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that Olay's perspective is necessary because she doesn't come from the same place that we come from, where I kind of like don't want to like. I want to be like overly charitable, but I think that she pointed out how we're being too charitable to the point where we're using kids' gloves, and we wouldn't be this charitable to anyone else, so we don't have to like fault ourselves for being too harsh. You know what I mean? I think that Olay's point is valid there.
This is for one of you.
You,
Mike?
No, that's for me. Where are your super chats, Mike? What's going on? I found Lance's Sam Cedar holiday meme awesome. I didn't see that, so I'll accept your money, but I'm sorry I can't comment on
it. Juan Diego says, so cancel TYT is what I'm getting from this.
We're not going to cancel anybody.
Do we have to re-explain everything again? I'm not going to explain everything.
I know.
Really quick, I don't care what you do. Like everyone has to analyze the situation for themselves and decide what they want to do out of this. If you want to keep watching, I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, maybe you should, maybe you should think about your support if you feel like they disappointed you in this way. Maybe you shouldn't. I mean, I also come from this perspective too, and this is the majority report perspective as well. I don't like people dangling money or support over me in exchange for my opinion. What you get out of me is my opinion. If you don't like it, and you're a subscriber, you pay me money, then you can feel free to take your money and go elsewhere, because dangling your money in front of me is not going to change my opinion. I don't know how TYT feels about that. But if you feel like you can't support them anymore, then feel free to just take your money elsewhere. But, I also feel like they'll get the message if enough people leave. You don't got to dangle your money in front of them in exchange for anything.
Yeah, and personally, I'm going to still watch TYT. I'll tune out from time to time. Maybe I'll take a little bit of a break from all political content. But, yeah, make your own decision.
This one is for one of you.
I don't know if that's my... Oh, wait. I think that is mine.
Like a comment.
Yes, I see that person. They sent a couple of super chats.
I could tell it's not one of my listeners because I got the best live stream audience there is. That's quite the comment.
Yeah, but Olay calling Anna and Jenk racist was not cool. Very dishonest. Not sure you have that much of a reason like you think. I don't think that she called them racist, to be fair. I think that she shared that video. But again, I'm not, as a white dude, going to tell a black woman what she can and can't be offended by. I get the videos old and they changed their practices, which was good, but I can't be like, hey, don't be offended by this. I'm going to stay in my lane. So, yeah.
Also for one of you.
Here's my question. Is this Anna Kasparian gaffe just a fluke, or are TYT purposefully throwing the LGBT community under the bus? I am of the belief that I think that they're just like misguided and they're doubling down, and that's why it's wrong. Is it calculated? I have no idea. Like, only they know what's in their hearts, but I am trying to be as charitable as I can be, and I hope that it's just like them being misguided. We'll see from here, as David said earlier.
This one from Jay Sprawl. Your egos are out of control. Bye.
Bye, girl. Thanks for the $2.
Yeah, thanks for the $2. I noticed after this came through, they kept posting in the chat, so don't think they left.
Yeah.
This is one of you.
Jenk and Benny on the show.
Oh, that's me. That's me.
Oh, that's you.
Jenk had Benny on the show many times after she announced her transition and always said he and him. He never once used the term she. Drove me nuts, but how many errors till it's deliberate? It's hard to tell. I mean, I do think people deserve the benefit of the doubt when it comes to that sort of thing. And at the time, I wouldn't have thought anything of it. And obviously, you correct the person, and they should not make that error, or at least try not to make that error. But it's certainly a good question to ask now that this has all happened. I can't answer that. I don't want to put, to be fair, I don't want to put words in people's mouth. I think that could very well have been accidental, but recent things could cause you to question that if you think so. I mean, sure.
This is also one of you. This is also a new member. For one of you.
Clarify, I don't think this is a grift. I think TYT is drunk on their fame. I mean, look, when you're doing this for so long as they've been doing it, you're gonna get an ego, right? But what matters is every now and again you humble yourself, you be introspective, you listen to feedback, and especially if it's your friends and colleagues, then I think that regardless of how long you've been doing this, how much clout you have, how big your platform is, like it comes from a place of love. So, yeah.
Super sticker for one of you from one.
Oh, nice. Thank you, one.
I gotta say, we're like halfway through, so I'm gonna start rolling through.
Yeah. I know you're tired, David. I feel bad.
It's okay.
I could do this all night. Keep sending me money, folks.
This is one of you as well. I'm not sure.
Yesterday, Anna said that the left needs to let people just ask questions about trans kids in sports, and that makes it seem like a deliberate pivot. I saw that too, and it did rub me the wrong way. I'm trying not to read too much into it, but I think that these are not questions that people should be asking. These have there's evidence behind these things. Like the medical community has made the determination, so I don't think that it's a legitimate debate in the same way that climate change is not a legitimate debate.
I did a video on this like 2 years ago, and like the science is not on the side of the right. Like this is like a non-issue, and it's so no. The questions have been settled, and it's stupid to keep bringing this up.
Yeah, I don't agree with her, and I agree with you. This person, Jonathan, that makes it seem like a pivot, feel like a pivot to me in the sense that she's really angry right now at people who called her out, and maybe she's more inclined to see the other side of the argument, whereas she wasn't before. So yeah, I don't agree with her at all. She's wrong here, unequivocally.
Bonobo, that's for me. Thank you for the $10. One, this is one of you again. I'm not sure which.
I think that's mine again. Thank you, one. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
This is this for me. No,
I think that
else.
one's mine, actually. Yeah, that's mine. Gemma Giraffe, we lose ourselves in these small issues with trans issues. Look at what just happened today in Missouri. They basically made being trans impossible. 3 years dysphoria, 1.5 years experimental therapy, conversion therapy. Yeah, that's a phenomenal point. Like, and this is part of what we were all kind of like saying, where there's bigger issues. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill with regard to this thing. But you're absolutely right. Like, we're kind of missing the forest for the trees. The overall fight is against trans people. Like, Jenk and Anna are not my enemies. They're not my targets. I want to move on from here and actually like focus on things that really have an impact on trans people. Like, what they say is important because their platform is large, but I feel like I've addressed it. I've said my piece, and now I want to like actually focus on the real thing. So yeah, I appreciate you saying that, Gemma.
Firefly says, I agree with Blair. Jenk and Anna clearly decided to radically change rhetoric in order to pick a fight/drive engagement, and it has backfired. I don't agree, but I said my piece in my video. Watch my full video that I posted before the stream, and you can get my full opinion on that. Jose Gomez, this is one of you guys.
I think that's me. If this is you loving, roasting them, and unearthing 10-year-old videos of them saying the N-word, thus implying they're racist, hope you don't get mad. Well, what we were saying, Jose, is if you watch the very first conversation that we had and all of our conversations on Twitter, it was very, very good faith. You know, Lance has kind of taken off the gloves now. Olay has taken off the gloves. We've all kind of taken off the gloves because the situation has kind of deteriorated. But at the end of the day, I hope that they still understand that, like, when we initially reached out and pushed back, it came from a place of love, but we didn't really get the respect in return that we gave out. Like, you could see that in Jenk's response to David. You could see that in his response to Anna.
Lajardane says, I agree this isn't the end. So where do we go from I think we answered this already, didn't I?
I think
so
she,
where do we go from here?
Another one.
How do we help the trans community if they're getting attacked from so many angles? I mean, I don't think this speaks to the larger trend. I mean, this is more about the rhetoric around I mean, I don't think this is really I don't know. In terms of helping the trans community, I think there's organizations that help to further trans rights. I don't know. I don't think it's really connected to what TYT is saying.
Yeah, just keep advocating, because you're really going to make a huge difference in your own social circle. So call out transphobia when you see it. Call out any microaggressions if you see it, and just try to correct people. It's the best that you can do. I mean, we're only individuals here, but collectively we can make a bigger difference. But in your own terms, in your social circle, just do the best that you can. That's what I'm doing.
And also, I want to point out, and it, you know, obviously, if this wasn't the case, we would still be fighting, you know, for trans rights, but. We are not only on the morally right side, but we're also on the broadly popular side. I mean, we know that the vast majority of people who are completely divorced from, you know, the political bubble that we all live in as streamers, and also as people who regularly watch streamers and pay attention to the news regularly. That's not the, you know, the vast majority of people don't do that regularly like you guys do. They don't view trans people as some evil other. I mean, maybe there's things they don't get. Maybe they'll accidentally misgender them and make mistakes like that. Maybe they'll even use the T slur, not realizing that it's a slur. But when it comes to actual policy, when it comes to actually like attacking trans people, like taking away their rights, the vast majority of people, at least in this country, do not support that. Mm-hmm. And we know that not only from polling, we know that from elections, because Republicans literally ran on attacking trans people during the midterms, and they lost across the board due to their focus on these issues.
Yeah.
Infinite Content says, question, you call see the story of how Eric Adams gave cops raises but told all the other city departments to cut their budgets. I did not. I don't follow New York politics. I didn't see this. I don't follow Eric Adams too closely. Mm-hmm. Heather says we're going to talk about
basically. I'm sorry. Eric Adams basically, you know, cut funding for libraries and stuff, and then gave cops huge like double-digit percentage raise across the board. That it was also retroactive. Like the minimum they're gonna get now is like 6 figures or something like that. We're talking like billions and billions of dollars added to the police salary budget. While he also simultaneously took tens of millions from libraries and with the shuttering libraries and stuff. Literally could have just taken a few tens of millions of dollars from the billions they gave cops, and he couldn't even do that.
I'm going to talk about the MOAG trying to ban trans.
Heather says, yeah, we're going to talk about the MOAG trying to ban trans. I mean, we've all talked about before, I'm sure, the endless amount of legislation or bills being introduced that are trying to restrict trans rights. So, yeah.
I'm sure we'll get to it. This is kind of a breaking story from my understanding that happened today. So I'm sure that we'll get to it at some point.
This is for one of you.
I don't understand why people are so upset with Bud Light. It's always been water that self-identifies as beer. I mean, yeah, look, I'm not a fan of Bud Light. I don't drink beer at all. And if a company goes woke or anti-woke, I don't give a shit. Like, I just don't give a fuck.
Emily says, David, do you feel that American anti-trans policies are going to impact trans Canadians? It always. It at the very least impacts discussions around these topics. So I'm sure we're going to start seeing a lot more anti-trans shit in this country if we haven't already. Yeah, that's going to happen.
Oh, if it's not hard enough being trans, they're Canadian too.
That's a good point. Can't disagree there. This is for one of you. One of your chatters. Mike, if you're talking, you're muted. Or he's stuttering
we're losing Mike. We're losing Mike.
Oh no, we're losing Mike.
Looks like his internet's cutting out.
Say 1 second. Okay, well, I'll read it for him.
Thank you for read that one.
For trans people. I love you all. Oh, there we go. Thank you. La Jourdain says, "What can we do to help?" Oh, here's the back.
Yeah, sorry.
I read it already. It's fine. It's just praise.
Okay. Thank you, Kim.
What can we do to help the trans people right now? Same person. I think we just responded to that earlier. Thank you, La Jourdain. Virginia Morel says, Olay, you are 100% authentic. Olay says thank you, I'm sure. Olay slays. Here we go. Some nice easy ones. Let's roll through these.
We love Olay.
This is for one of you two.
I hope it's for me because it's just so nice. Let me see.
Protect this channel at all costs.
It is for me. Thank you, Juan. I appreciate that. You're so kind.
Yeah.
Protect all of us, though.
Rachel says Olay needs to go blow minds on Novara Media ASAP. I'm there. That British network, good network.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know if she's going to be on that show or
they're a leftist, big leftist channel in the UK.
Oh, okay.
I think is mine. Wow, very generous here. Kat says TYT's attitude towards trans rights for years has been one of ignore it and hope it goes away, and that's why they can't speak about us in an informed way. If this was 2016, I could forgive them, but it's 2023 skill issue, or still an issue. I will say, look, if you search trans on their account, it's a lot of, at least the past couple of years or past year, a lot of defending trans people or trans rights. So I can't speak to that in terms of even further back. I don't remember, but with this turn. And that recent story they covered about that activist, or about the activist,
Riley Gaines,
protesting that swimmer. Who knows what the direction will be now. This is for one of you.
Everyone has heard of.
Oh, that's mine. Yep. Everyone has heard of shower beers. Now get ready for policing the public restrooms beer. Yeah.
Emily says, Olay, do you know Dr. Cian Wilson at WLU? Awesome. Well, Olay's not here, and I don't know what she would say, but thank you. This is one of you guys.
I'm not sure. Hot take. They are attracted. Oh, I think this is mine. Hot take. They're attracted to trans people and take shame in this. And it is a double sin because women with extended equipment. And how else would they know for? Yeah, I think that the statistics that we went over, the porn statistics, absolutely confirms that beyond a shadow of a doubt. So you're right, Gemma. 1,000%.
Benjamin says disappointed in Jank and Anna, but Jank impersonation of Lance was spot on. He cracked me up. It's just like, it's just too funny. One of you guys.
That's mine. Attic Kasparian prefers the term grifting person or reactionary with a uterus. I mean, I gotta say, like, that actually, while very funny, is also much meaner than anything we said on the show.
It is. Kirk here. That's one of you guys. Left is best. Much love.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's for me. Wow, 20
Okay,
bucks.
good.
Thank you.
Kirk.
Thank you, Kirk. Really appreciate that. Damn.
They keep coming in
D-Rock,
for
a
me
new member
too.
for one of you guys as well.
Oh, I think that's me.
One also for one of you guys.
One, I think that's for me. I saw the Dalai Lama stuff, and it was absolutely disturbing. He like told a little kid to suck his tongue.
It was all weird.
What the fuck, man? Like, okay, I don't get organized religion. This should be another like hint. Don't be religious and don't follow religious people. They're all freaks.
One of you two.
Talk about Musk and the softball BBC.
Oh, that was for me. Whoops. Yeah.
That's
I already said my piece on Twitter and yesterday on my live stream. But yeah, BBC should be embarrassed for that interview they did with Musk. The reporter was wholly unprepared, did not even have called Musk out for racist content on the site, and when Musk asked for an example, could not provide him with one example and used the excuse that he hasn't really used Twitter that much in the past couple of months. Musk ended up giving him an hour and a half. Imagine having an hour and a half with Musk, and then the reporter tapped out early because he said he ran out of questions. And then on top of that, Musk continued like after BBC said they were done and brought his buddies in the Twitter space, like his right-wing friends like Ian Miles Chong and a bunch of other like crypto people. And when the BBC person would just messing around would ask a question, they would all jump in to defend Musk and answer it for him, and then he would basically throw his hands up in the air saying like, oh, I already got we already recorded our piece, so whatever, it doesn't really matter. It was embarrassing. They should be embarrassed. Musk steamrolled them. As much as I hate to say it, it's also the truth.
Damn.
Also, one for one of you guys.
I don't know.
Not me.
I don't see it. I'm refreshing.
Okay, well,
I don't know.
I'll read it. How about Olay and her puppets get out of your little hug box? Scared to engage with your critics? LOL. Maybe they took it back.
Oh,
probably.
Suck a dick.
But here's the thing: me and Lance together both went on Sitch and Adam's show. So we weren't.
I don't know who's stitching that. I don't know.
They're these two. They don't consider themselves to be right wingers. They're like centrists, but they sort of. They're not like super far right, but they're like. Like anti-SJW type.
So like really lazy shit. Okay.
But like if they were also tacked a little bit to the center, they have a little weird politics, but they're definitely not. I wouldn't put them anywhere left of center. But me and Lance went on their show. So I don't know about the little hug box you're talking about.
On Tim Pool. I mean, come on.
I went on Tim Pool's show. I go on anybody's show. Invite me, I'll go on. If Jenk and Anna were to invite me on their show tomorrow, I'd go on and talk to them about exactly all this. I would love to. I have no problem with going on anybody's show, anytime, anywhere. Elon Musk, if you hear me, give me an hour and a half. I promise you, I won't run out of questions. I can promise you that.
Access Audio says, not sure why people are shocked by Anna's behavior when she gave a softball interview to a war criminal like Albright and spread propaganda. I have no commentary. I'm too tired.
Yeah, I don't remember the interview. I don't agree with the tough on crime takes. I haven't seen the homeless take, but I've heard that it's bad. But yeah, I have disagreements with them on that.
This is one of you guys. Someone says chunk yogurt.
I don't know if that's me or not, but that's cringe.
Chunk yogurt.
Don't say that.
Cat67 says, so did you unsubscribe from TYT? This for me? Yeah. No, I did not. Lizzie Bennett says, such a shame that Anna couldn't. Sorry. No, this is one of you guys.
Such a
shame. I can still read it, but I'm just letting you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it might be me. I don't. Yeah, it is me. Such a shame that Anna couldn't come on Leftist Mafia and air any grievance she had on with Olay, but she'll waste time with right-wing gnome Ben Shapiro. Well, I mean, that's not to say that she's not willing to engage with Olay. I don't know. I think that really what needs to happen is an offline conversation between people, because it's only going to get worse if it continues publicly. So, like, we've said what we needed to say publicly, but like offline is where I think we're going to make progress, honestly, if people are willing.
One gives a super sticker.
Thank you, Juan. I see that.
Anthony here says, do you have an opinion on community land trusts with cooperative housing development to improve the housing crisis? Bro, it's 11:04. No, I don't.
To be fair, they probably sent that much earlier. They probably sent that at like 9:30. You know what I mean? We're
I
like
support
really
that in
behind.
public housing. I'll put it that way. That's I like that in public
opinion,
housing.
I don't know. This is one of you guys. I'm just gonna start reading them, and then
okay.
If
Yeah,
you can
go
see it in your comments, then respond to it.
Okay.
It's possible that TYT is financially in dire straits with zero growth and rising interest rates, and is auditioning for a Rumble/Daily Wire partnership.
No, I mean I don't know what their financials. I don't know what their financials are, but I don't think it has anything to do with what happened. Honestly.
Yeah, I think that they're doing fine. They have a lot of memberships and stuff.
Mariposa says, loving how this turned into BreadTube. Love y'all.
BeardTube. Thank you, Mari.
Oh, sorry, BeardTube. Like
I love
BreadTube,
Mari.
Zero says, David is on point as always with his position on the whole Anna Jank debacle. Leave your personal positions out of it. Thank you, Zero. Emily says, we're to pay to say thank you for your trans support. Thank you. Thank you. Zachary says, is Stanford trying to end the world? I'm reading Palo Alto, and between that and the daily Thiel news, it's blowing my mind how out of touch these people are and how much they have changed the world. Thank you. Katie says, I've noticed a weird tendency for people in lefty regions or bubbles to get triggered by things that a lot of us don't see because we're surrounded by more conservative people and bigger fights. That is a good observation. Brandy says, you guys must know by now Lance is AI. I think y'all are covering for him.
Yeah, Serfs GPT. That's what that is.
Firefly says, my favorite moment tonight, possibly ever, was Mikey telling wankers in chat to do a bodily act to him that I can't even super chat. Much love.
Oh wait, you can't super chat certain words? I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
YouTube, I think, censors some things.
Well, thank you for the super chat.
Sandra says, how do you feel about anonymous leak information about Clarence Thomas?
More anonymous. More.
Celeste says, defund TYT. Lokesh, thank you for the super chat.
Oh, yeah, thank you, Lokesh.
Matt says, here's another $2 for the scam train.
Is that a diss,
That's
Matt?
probably scam economy. There you go.
Might be, yeah.
Oh,
might be
okay.
for me. Yeah.
Well, it's in mine, so that's why I wonder if it's a diss.
Oh, then maybe it's, yeah, I don't know. Someone is going around, someone I think is going around dropping, I think it was that Matt Claremont. Yeah, he's going around dropping all of us money, it looks like.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that.
Grasshopper says, the zero-sum game y'all and others on the left are playing is really toxic. If you don't agree with me 100%, you are right-wing racist. It pushes people away. If you're too ridiculous to not realize that's not at all what was happening at all, like I can't further explain this. You
we
chose not to listen to what we were saying.
We explained the
chose
fucking
not
shit.
to listen to what we were saying. That's not at all what was going on. Lajardane, thank you. Sorry for the confusion. I was asking you all to give us some resources. Thank you, Lajardane again. Vex the Cat says, appreciate y'all. That's one of you guys.
Thank you.
Bay Photo says, TYT seems to have a habit, that's also one of you, of burning bridges with former employees and correspondents. Some are clearly
that one is
but I find it pretty sad.
Well, I mean, the burning the bridge with Jimmy Dore,
right?
Dave Rubin, very, very necessary.
Yeah, they're the ones that engage that shit. Like they all started lying about them. So yeah, it's different. Arthur says, you don't have to comment on this since he's in the chat. I just want to say Jimmy Dore is not funny. He's in the chat. That's probably not really Jimmy Dore.
Yeah, there's a
Jimmy Dore is not funny and has bad political opinions. I mean, Jimmy has recently expressed anti-trans shit. So if anything, he should be with TYT here. Like, but I don't think he's even in this. Whatever.
Oh, there's it's the parody account that pops up once in a while.
Emily says just spent $2 to say "F you, Binder" for dissing Canada. Thank you, Emily.
I love Canada. Listen, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, my favorite wrestlers were all Canadian. So
there you go.
There you go.
I have Canadian friends. Okay, David, Lance.
Thomas says, "Please help that heathens GoFundMe campaign."
Who?
I don't know what that is.
One of my viewers, trans woman, she is experiencing hardship, and she has a GoFundMe. We promoted it on my show, so if you want to check that out, go to my stream.
Nominal Time says Jimmy Dore's in your chat again. No, that's not Jimmy Dore. Tony Rizzo says, "You guys rock. Olay slay the most though. Bender's still waiting for those reference photos."
All right, I'll get them to you. Tony's creating an intro for me, 3D intro for me.
Scurry Away says, "Mike, I like your content. I'm a leftist boomer. You are hard on boomers. Remember, loud boomers don't represent us all."
Yeah, that's that's a very generous super chat, Scurry. I've got nothing but love for my boomers who are on the right side of history. Let me clarify. When I say boomers, oftentimes I'm not specifically referring to the generation. I'm talking about this mindset, this antiquated way of thinking about things. So yes, I acknowledge boomers can be very based. My mom is a boomer. She's 72 years old, and she is fucking woke and based. So yes, I love the woke boomers.
When Mike says boomers, you have to understand he's talking about how he hates everyone over the age of 40. He goes lower than most. So I mean, honestly though, boomers, Trump, in my opinion, Trump saved the boomers because tons of boomers completely, I mean, they might be like resistance libs, but they still completely went turned to the left. I'm not saying they're leftists. I'm just saying they're now left of center, a lot of them, because they hated Trump so much that it slowly brought them to the other side. If anything, now, if we're going to talk shit about a whole generational swath, the worst generation now is Gen X. They're the ones behind this whole. They're the ones behind all this anti-trans school board bullshit that's going on right now. They're the ones with their kids in high school and stuff right now. They're the ones who are doing this shit.
That's true.
COVID made them lose their minds. These were the people who complained that their kids were home for a few months and that they had to deal with their kids. That was all Gen X age people.
Kumar says, "Is the beer thing coordinated? Also, how do you think?" No, it is not. Also, how do you think the anti-trans debate ends? We are missing out on right-wing infighting like Shapiro v. Crowder. I'm going to hold out hope that they recognize the mistake and move on and change direction, because I have a hard time imagining Anna turning on Emma, in that relationship, that friendship deteriorating. I have a hard time imagining Cenk disowning Hassan, his nephew. So I don't think they're going to go that far outside the lines, and hopefully they get pulled back in. I think that's hopefully going to happen, but I don't know. Hunter says, "How do we respond to the question, can men get pregnant?"
Yes. This one is from me. You just simply ask them, are we talking about a trans man or a non-binary person? If so, then yes. If the reproductive organs are there, they can get pregnant. It's very simple. Just break it down in the most easiest technical terms. Trans men, they have the capacity for pregnancy. They can get pregnant. I have a non-binary cousin. They can get pregnant.
Robbie says your vids podcast.
Ask them what they would call. Sorry, I was gonna say, ask them what they would call Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jr.
There you go. There's reference material for it there. Gabriella says the 150,000 people of Jackson, Mississippi have been without garbage pickup for 2 weeks. Please read about it and donate to Cooperation Jackson. Thank you, Gabriella, for raising that. I did not know.
I didn't know about this. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
This is for one of you guys. Omega says, to answer y'all, they've been supportive even back when Dana Zawikowski transitioned 11 years ago, so they've always been considerate of folks, but maybe the terminology was the biggest difficulty for them.
That's fair.
Matt Claremont says, had to come over here and give thanks to the Giga Chat leftist who gave us amazing content on Tim Pool's show. Go to bed, David. Oh yeah, that's right. I covered that. You're welcome.
I know. I feel bad for David. We're keeping him up, but
no, it's fine. We're almost done. This one says, did you get a load of Vince McMahon's new look? Oh yeah, what the hell?
I did. That's Vincente McMahon now.
It also made it look like he got like serious plastic surgery, but maybe
that's been for a while. He looks horrible. He couldn't just let himself age.
Jesus.
He messed up his face big time. I mean, we're also talking about a guy who was forced out of his company because of multiple accusations of sexual abuse.
And then
to
somehow
people.
is back in now because they
And
got
now-
bought, right? Like,
yeah, he forced himself back onto the board, so he could be part of choosing who bought his company. So he could work out a deal where the company that buys WWE, which is now we know UFC's owner Endeavor. So he could work out a deal where they still own a significant portion. So what's happening is Endeavor and WWE, that Endeavor is the UFC owner, they're making a new company that's just going to be the company for UFC and WWE together. Endeavor holds 51% ownership over it. The McMahon family owns 49% ownership over it. And McMahon is like the second highest level executive overseeing the entire company. This is a guy who resigned last summer and said he was retiring because he turned he was too old, time for me to retire, but it was really because of these sexual assault allegations.
I don't know who said this in whoever's chat, but these three fucks have such nice beards.
Mine's not that great. Mine's not that great. Mike has one that's I'm truly jealous of.
Thank you,
Mike. How do you do it? How do you do it?
It takes a lot of time, but mostly it's genetics, I think.
I sleep my stomach, so I wouldn't be able to do that. It'd be too in the way.
Your son would pull it.
Yeah, that too. Y'all should have Vosh on Leftist Mafia. He was on the initial one during a
right. Our
midterms.
Unofficial first episode. Yeah,
He was super drunk and probably shouldn't have been on the show. But I don't know. Maybe one day if he's down for it, whatever. Kat says a lot of TYT's videos defending trans people have been middling at best. Ben Glebe recently admitted that he uncritically believed the right wing about trans athletes because he never bothered to actually research the issue. I think it's fine to admit that, to say that, hey, I learned from that and I grew. I don't think you should be critical of people who are willing to recognize that they were wrong about something and grow from that. But I don't know. From what I've seen, I don't agree with that, but you may have seen things that I didn't see. Andrew Clement says, nice CM Punk shirt.
He's coming back. He's coming back. That's the word in the wrestling news sites. He's coming back to AEW.
There you go. Matt Claremont is for me says, how could you let Doug Ford win? Unforgivable. Shake my head. I've covered that asshole a bunch of times. I don't know how it happened. I mean, I know how it happened. People did not engage, barely voted, but it's they're disappointing. Zero says Cyber Demon 531 is in the chat tonight. Please have her on. Oh, for Andrea for sure.
We love Andrea.
We'll get on the show. Yeah, definitely. Katie says spending $2 to double down on the Canadian dissing.
Take that, David.
That wasn't even for me. At least give me the money. What the hell? Kirk says, wanted to say again, it's the same that Mike confused David Doe with Pac-Man on the same stream. That pointed out TYT gave us 3 right-wing grifters and Pac-Man gave MR Michael Brooks. Oh, that's right. Michael Brooks worked for Pac-Man.
Did he?
Yeah, that's why. Yes, that's how we discovered him. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I made a comment about that years ago as a funny joke, just a little humor on the episode where we were remembering Michael after it happened. And apparently I hurt Pac-Man's feelings, and he has not interacted with me since.
Really?
Yes. It was just a
gentle ribbing. It's okay.
Yeah, that's all I thought it was. But I guess some people just can't take it. I mean, I
apologized.
Me too. I reached out via email and I said, I heard from your audience that you were on your stream. You mentioned how it hurt your feelings or whatever, and I just wanted to reach out and say it was all in good fun and nothing personal. And he got back to me, not really very accepting of what I had to say. He was like, really, really hurt my feelings. It was very nasty, and I'm not gonna say exactly what he said because it's a private email, but I mean, I've never was on his show before that, but. But it certainly weren't going to be after.
Talking about TYT, we got to hash it out with Pac-Man. He unfollowed me a couple of years ago too. I think it was because I was supposed to be a guest on his show, but I kind of I didn't realize it was happening very soon. So I kind of fucked him over by not responding right away, or not being able to do it right away.
honestly, I don't get how like you could do this, and this is in general. I'm not talking about anyone in specific. I don't get how you can do this and not and care so much about stuff like that. Like I literally went on Tim Pool's show and the dude called me like a groomer or like pedo adjacent or something. These words don't bother me. Nothing about this. You cannot hurt me by calling me names. You can call me. You could say I look like a girl, a woman. Call me whatever you'd like. You could.
What if I called you this? No,
you could literally call me anything, and it doesn't like you could make fun of me. Nothing bothers me. I don't get how you could do this job and be a streamer and get your feelings hurt. Honestly,
okay,
Anna
Goomba.
Jank, Ben Shapiro. Anyone could call me up tomorrow and say, "Come on the show," and I'd be like, "Let's fucking do it. Let's do this shit."
Curly Man says, here's one for you too, Mike. Did you guys see the student loan forgiveness going through the Supreme Court today? Big win.
I did not see this.
I did not see this.
If I get my $20,000 canceled, then that is a very big win. I'll have to look into this. I heard the oral arguments and it didn't look good though. So if we got good news, then okay.
Arthur says, sorry that Jimmy Dore was actually Sam Cedars' burner account. Nelson says Canada's coming for your YouTube jobs. There's a bill going through. It's not. I don't think it's as serious as people are making it out to be. But anyways, Celeste says hi, Kings.
Hi, Celeste. We love Celeste.
Mariposa says the media is not ready for the reality that straight men are the men in trans women's DMs. Gay men don't want trans clitty.
Okay. That's true. Yeah, they're gonna find out though because they're getting a little bit too bold. Thanks, Mari.
Chopperfly says, "Love the format. We need more outlets. Yes, maybe include more indie hosts.
We need like 20 people on the stream at once, just talking over each other."
StreamYard has limits here, and also the ability to hear each other is also a limit.
We need
over each other so much. Like just adding one extra person makes it so much more difficult. But we try, right?
All right, we got Leftist Mafia here, but we need a new show called Leftist Royal Rumble, where it's just every 30 men enter, every man for himself.
Someone gets knocked out, someone else comes in.
We vote each other out at the end of every 10-minute segment, and then go to the next thing.
It's actually pretty funny. I don't know. That might actually work. Jessica says, I'm a boomer who really appreciates what you do. Oh, there you go.
Thanks,
Kumar says
Jessica.
it's literally left to right, small beard to large.
Which beard are you on the beard?
That's pretty funny. Robbie says your beard is that great. Gives me gender envy. I think that's to you, Mike. I'm guessing.
Oh, is it? I think it was. I don't see it. I think it's the Matt.
It's from Robbie. Or maybe it's from Matt then.
I don't see it.
Your beard is that great.
I don't want to assume that my beard is that amazing.
It is for me, but listen, listen. I'm all about facts over feelings, and it is undoubtedly factual that Mike has the best beard on this stream right now.
Well, listen, Matt, I appreciate it, but like, if you're a singer,
bigger always better though. I don't know.
Yeah, listen.
Maybe nice and clean like this.
Yeah, but he's also got a nice full beard. I can't. My beard is just like I just have it because otherwise, I mean, maybe who knows now? I'm much older than I was back when I grew my beard. I've not shaved my beard in many years, decades. But I originally just grew the beard
just to, like scare people, just to be like
my kids. I've mentioned to my kids and they start crying. Don't do it, Daddy. Don't do it. But I had to grow a beard as soon as I could because I am someone who looks, or who knows now, but I looked a lot younger than I was. I was getting carded for R-rated movies into my 20s. I mean, it was, I just needed to show people I was of a certain age by just being able to say, look, facial hair.
I've been carded in my 30s at like the liquor store with a beard. So like, I don't know. I can't do much about it.
Yeah. No, let me just say this, Matt. Like, it's unfair to compare your beard to like the best beard ever, which is mine, of course. So, I mean, your beard is good in its own right. Okay. Like if you're a singer, you don't have to compare yourself to Beyonce, right? Like, no, I'm just kidding.
It's true.
You got that like Jim the Anvil Neidhart status beard going on.
You know, it's I've been cultivating it for quite some time, so it's evolving, it's upping my power level, and I would look weird without it for sure.
Here's Firefly saying, third chat and money for map, a message for all your actions and compassion have made you worthy of the platforms and positions you hold. Rock on and much love. Very kind.
Thank you.
That's really sweet.
Kat says, yes, growing is good, but again, it's 2023 and we're in the middle of a genocide. 7 years being so ignorant while reporting on trans issues was inexcusable. But this late in the game, it's egregious. I hear you.
Yeah.
Mr. P says left is best.
Yes.
Taria?
Oh, Tara. Yeah, this is one of my mods. Chatters were curious if you could add closed captions. Yeah, so it auto-generates, but it takes like a little bit of time after the stream is over. So if they come back in like a couple of hours, then it should be ready to rock.
It'll appear on. Fly Jumper Fly is the last one. Says more hosts could also include alternating. More hosts could also include alternating.
I mean, if one of us missed, for sure, we'd get like.
If you miss a show, someone will come in.
Yeah.
But apart from that, no, we're here for life.
You're not going to get rid of any
no
of
one's
us.
leaving. All right, there we go. Oh my God, this is like an hour of the show.
I know.
Like
I'm so sorry, David. I feel so horrible.
It's fine.
Listen, I can't complain about money, man. I mean,
it's
I would have done it for another hour.
Support. It's amazing.
Matt goes on late as fuck. I will log on at like midnight and I'll see Matt still on the East Coast. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because I start my streams late, usually at 9 o'clock, and then sometimes I'll just get carried away with calls, and before you know it, it's a 4-hour long stream.
That one time, me and Matt were talking about like fucking so much, like Pee Wee Herman and shit, and you looked like you were about to fall asleep, but you kept going. So I mean, I got respect for you, which I owe you a stream, by the way, because I missed your last one. So I owe you one of your
sounds
shows.
Good. No, yeah, let's do it. I gotta get you both on
I
the
felt
stream
bad about
again.
missing it because we always have fun.
No, definitely, let's do it.
Yeah,
I mean, we do it every week, but let's do it more.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, people.
Have a great night, everyone.
Good night. Have a good night. See y'all next week on 420, 20th episode on 420.
Oh, that's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one.
Mm-hmm. I may or may not appear. Hi. We will see what happens.
He will.
All right. Goodbye.